My man picked the board up, took it from me, picked it up, and bam, dropped it on the nose, exploded it. I'm just like,
no,
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, I love this guy. I loved him. I still love him.
Yeah.
I still mess with them. Like we're homies. But that was a pretty impactful moment, especially being another person of color in skateboarding. There were so very few of us. For him to not like me and for him to destroy my skateboard, you know, that was his old skateboard. It was so like impactful.
All right. We are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special. Special. How about one more? Special guest, Mr. Karl Watson is with us finally.
Oh,
yes,
man,
yes.
I'm here, guys. Yeah. Thank you for the warm welcome, for having me on the show. It's an honor.
It's an honor
Big
to
time.
have you here, bro.
Big time.
It's an honor to have the 9 Club for our community, guys.
Hey,
thank you.
Yes.
appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
Thing to say.
Without you, we would have no podcasts that are cool.
Oh, wow. Already taking shots fired at other podcasts while you're coming on here. Karl, we weren't the first podcast. We certainly won't be the last, but we just took it and ran with it when we started.
Where are you at right now? Which
this
episode?
one is 320 maybe?
320. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Actually, 321.
321 maybe.
Sheesh. So many you guys are forgetting.
Damn, 3, 2, 1. Karl.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Watch it come out to 320.
And the eclipse is coming. Is happening on the 8th. It's a sign.
Oh, this will
3,
already
2,
be
1.
Woo!
Then the 8th. We're done.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
yeah, we're going.
Well, this
to
will be
the
out
eclipse.
like weeks after the 8th, so we'll see
Okay.
how we
Okay.
survived.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
We'll make some like 9 Club survived.
All right. You can make a nice eclipse logo with the 9 Club logo. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Hey, not
okay.
bad.
True.
Karl.
9 Club blocks the sun.
Exactly. Just sell it on the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Sell it on the beach.
Hustle it walking by.
Yeah.
Get one of those carts and just pushing around all your product. You're like 9 Club.
Kelly,
merch.
get on that, man. Let's go.
Yeah, Kelly,
Take some
what's going on?
product.
You're down there jump roping already, man. Should sell some shirts.
I gotta sell some. All right.
You're gonna have to tell
let's
Charlie to
mock
whip
it up.
something up.
Yeah, Charlie, mock it up real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get some graphics going.
It's really good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Good to
too.
see
Yeah,
you
thank
too.
you. Thank you.
Bro.
Pound.
Dude, we have a lot of
Pound.
stuff.
Kelly Pound.
Pound.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about for sure.
Yeah.
I want to.
Oh,
I want to
man.
definitely like talk about some Mad Circle days.
Okay.
Some the short stint at World. All that stuff.
Oh, you know about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
but do you know?
Oh, I
don't
want to
really know. He don't really know.
I want to find out.
Okay.
I got a lot of questions.
Okay.
That was my era. I love that type of that. Oh, okay. Anyway.
Same here.
But let's start off too, because first of all, you know, growing up in up north, San Francisco.
Yep, I was born in Oakland, California, 1976.
Oh, now you're showing your age, man. Why you do that?
1976, the year of the dragon.
Okay.
And I started skating when I was 6 years old. My dad has a pretty cool story about it. I have no recollection of it, but he said he saw me. He heard some loud sounds at about 1:30 at night, and he looked outside, and it was me making a makeshift ramp, and like, you know, kept having to fix it because it kept falling over and going off the ramp by myself.
Not at 1:30. We're talking in the morning, 1:30 in the
Yeah,
morning?
yeah, that's what my dad says. So it was like
6 years old?
6 years old. We only had one skateboard for the whole block, which my dad got, and I wasn't like the dominant kid to like be able to, so I wasn't able to use the skateboard during the daytime. So that was my time to use it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, because everybody else was using it. And
Exactly.
they would return it.
Oh yeah, they would
Okay.
return it for sure.
Okay.
Were you an
Definitely.
only child?
Only child?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only child.
Do you remember?
That's crazy.
We have so many kids.
Do you
I
remember?
know, right?
Making up
Well,
for it.
thank you.
Like, do you remember going and actually getting your first like real skateboard? Because for me, I know I was skating well before like I was 15. I really started when I was 15, and I consider starting to skate when you actually are like trying to do a trick. You're trying to ollie. You kind of know what this is, right? I mean, I was always standing on a board, but I don't consider that like when I first started skating. You know?
That's a good question. So, well, you actually started pretty late, Chris.
Late?
15
Yeah,
to be
that's
where you're
way
at.
late.
Like, I've never really heard of anybody turning pro after starting that late.
That was late. Yeah.
Especially at that time in
sure.
the
That's
game.
impressive.
For
So
sure.
when I was 6, I wasn't a real skater yet.
Okay.
I started really skating when I was 11. I got my first skateboard in 1987, Christmas of 1987, and yeah, that was my first.
Do you know
skateboard.
what it was though?
It was
a Kmart board.
It was
Walmart,
a
like-
Zorlac board. It was all white with some crazy graphic in the center, some green wheels, and some white tracker trucks.
Okay.
And I loved that skateboard.
Your first real board.
First real board. However,
that.
it did collect dust for a while after I got it.
You weren't in. You just kind of put it down for a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, I got it, and I was like, oh, I got my skateboard. Then
You
let
riding
me go
bikes
play
or
with the
anything?
neighborhood kids. I was actually riding bikes. I was doing the BMX thing, hanging out with the kids in the neighborhood, getting into trouble. I wasn't getting into trouble, but they were getting into trouble, and that was literally the catalyst to me starting to become a skateboarder.
Oh.
Do you want to hear the story?
Well, I mean, yeah. Go ahead,
So-
for sure.
So we lived in the Fillmore. It was like we were adjacent to the projects, which were pretty gnarly. And so my group of friends were all from that area. And I had one friend in particular that knew all the other guys because I just moved there when I was 9 from Oakland. And so all those guys would go around the city and torment people and like break into cars and just be like, just wilding, right? And I would just be on the outskirts, like, oh my God, what's happening here? Like, oh, these guys are gnarly.
Yeah.
And on one of those occasions, we were doing our thing, and we saw these young kids on the launch skating the launch ramp, and one of the kids happened to be Nick Lockman, and
Wow.
he tried a trick off the ramp. He fell down. I mean, we got a whole big old crew of guys. And then he fell down, and I started laughing at him. I was like, oh, here's my opportunity to like clown somebody or heckle somebody. I was like the little twerp in the crew. And so when I laughed at him, he picked his board up and started charging at me. And I'm like, oh my God, in my head, I'm like, please do not embarrass me in front of these guys. So then luckily his father ran out and broke it up. Right, and this kid was only 8. He was
little,
tiny.
like
He was
little dude.
little, and
Yeah.
little Nick, but he had a lot of courage, a lot of heart. So I went to bed that night just thinking like, oh, thank God for his dad for stopping, this potentially embarrassing situation. So fast forward to a year later, one of my friends got caught when in a stolen car, with crack. He was selling crack. So my mom was like, oh, hell no, you're not going down this path with these guys.
Right.
So he was a close friend that would actually come to my house, in the group. So we moved to a better neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And I used my dusty skateboard to skate back to the old neighborhood to play with my friends. And one day in between, I decided to take a left on Broderick instead of going down to Divisadero and making a left there. And that was a blessing because little Nick was sitting in his window, bored out of his mind. He heard the call of the wild, the skateboard going down the street, and then his father looked out. And Nick looked out. His father saw me, recognized me from that situation. He's like, invite that kid in. So Nick invited me into his house and introduced me to the world of skateboarding. I walked in there. I saw all these old skateboards, all these magazines, all these videos, cool clothes, Jimmy Z's. I was like, man, this is it right here. So from that moment on, I've never looked back.
Wow.
So thank you, Nick Lockman.
That's it.
Thank you.
Wow, dude.
And his dad for
And hey,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
crazy.
Yeah, I think his name was Mike. Yeah,
Mike.
Mike. Yeah.
Wow.
cool.
So, whew, man.
That set it all off.
That set it all off.
Well, thanks for coming, man. This has been incredible.
Thank you.
No, but seriously though, isn't that funny? That little turn of fate
Oh,
just
my
set it
God.
off. You could have been in a completely different place if you didn't take that turn.
Well, that's why it's so important to understand like your decisions really shape your life, the outcome of your life. And if I didn't make that left turn, if I went straight, I would have probably been going down the same path.
Right.
And the synchronicity wouldn't have stepped in to put me down the path I'm supposed to be on.
Crazy.
You were supposed to do that, make that left.
Absolutely. And I was also supposed to like make fun of that kid. So that, it was a
Hey,
lesson.
you were setting yourself
you
up
still
for
did, and
yeah.
you still did. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
to a
You
degree.
You were setting yourself
Oh,
up
yeah.
for EMB days,
Yeah, that part. But it's funny though, because So Nick Lockman and Sam Smyth were friends, and Nick wouldn't introduce me to Sam until I kind of got a little bit better on the board. And then I started hanging out with both of them, but they wouldn't bring me to EMB until I learned how to do some stuff.
Wow.
So it took about a good 3-4 months.
So they were
until
already
they brought me to EMB.
They were already going there.
They're already going there. And then they were like, okay, I think I learned how to ollie or something, or I was doing early grabs. You know, I was showing courage.
Okay.
And then so they brought me there, and I was like, oh my God, EMB. It was just like the Mecca. It was literally like I was looking through a door with a valley that was so vast, and the sunset, like kind of like an Arizona view, you know, with the big, beautiful sky open wide, but it was skateboarding. So I get there, I'm super excited. And the first thing I do is try to do an early frontside grab off the stage. And what do? Nosedive. Oh. And then who comes over to pick me up? James Kelch.
I knew you were going to say that.
Picks me up on my collar. I'm there just moaning like in pain. He's like, picks me up, carries me over to the wave, drops me down and said, "You gonna be okay, little dude," or something like that. Something hella cool. Okay. And then from that moment on, I was accepted into the EMB crew.
Wow.
Thank you, James.
A very important crew too, by the way.
Yeah.
For skateboarding. No
I mean,
doubt.
that was like the
think?
leader, kind of, right? Yeah.
Very.
He was like the leader,
Hey,
right?
he was the mayor.
Yeah, he's the mayor.
For him to acknowledge me, for him to put his hands on me was a big deal. Without punching me, without like heckling me,
Without
showing
shaking your
respect.
board.
Yeah.
Like he saw that I had heart.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
You know,
That's
but
amazing.
I was the weakest kid out of the whole crew. It took a long time to progress. It took a year to learn how to ollie. I mean, luckily I had like a backyard with concrete, so I would practice all my tricks there, and then learn a couple of things and bring my tricks to EMB.
DMB.
Yeah.
Damn. I
What was it
love that.
like there? Would you get heckled a lot being the young kid?
No, not really. It was just kind of like watching the old guys do their thing, and they're doing a lot of heckling.
Oh,
and
okay.
we heckled each other though.
Yeah,
We did our
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Spitballs and all that.
I always hear about the
Just,
spitballs.
oh my God.
I heard that was your weapon of choice.
That was my weapon of choice, and I was a big gleeker.
Oh, Gleeker.
Man,
Gleek on you all day.
I'd be gleeking in
I
the back of
remember
the
that.
neck.
I never understood how to do that, but
Man.
On demand, yeah. Sometimes it just happens, but yeah,
Yeah.
he could just do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
look
yeah,
at this
yeah.
photo right here of all the old.
Oh, look at that. Look at Rachel, Pat.
Wow.
Oh, I'm in there. Yeah. I'm right there by Justin.
Vogel.
Right there, right next to Lee Smith, Jake Vogel in the front. You got Umar,
Wow.
you got John, you got Kamal,
Eris
who's
is right
doing
there.
really well. You got Eris, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, definitely.
G-Man, you got Ben Sanchez. What?
Is that Pat Washington?
That is
LeVar
Pat
up
Washington
top?
and LeVar
That
up
dude.
top, yes.
So crazy.
Oh my
bro.
God, that was a day. I think Nick Lockman's right there on the right-hand side turning around. You can see his blonde head.
No wingding, huh? No.
Wingding is right there in the front,
Okay,
next
I'm
to the brother
Oh yeah,
with
he's
the
turned. I
kufi
can't
on.
even see him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So it's
dude.
crazy though. So I just want to circle back.
Please
so
do.
On that day, going to EMB and stuff, and around that time, I was living in this apartment, and before the place where my mother and I moved to happened to be Tommy Guerrero's old apartment.
Oh, wow.
Seriously.
So I would literally, he was like a god to me, still is. Love Tommy. And he would, I would get packages with his name on it, Rip Grip packages. At that point, though, Rip Grip was obsolete because we were doing no slides, tail slides. We didn't need it anymore.
But wait a minute. You were getting his packages
I was getting his packages with his name on it
to your house
to
'cause
my
he lived
to
there.
my house.
They-
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, when my mother and I went to go check out the place for the first time, I was with it was just my mother and I, and we were with the landlord. And I go into my room, and there's only one thing in that whole entire place, and it was the drum, the stick with the drum, and the two little like the string with the two little balls on the side on either end.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And from Animal Chin. Animal Chin, where there you go like that, and it goes, brr, 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 and it had a blue Thrasher sticker on it. And I remember going into my room and grabbing that and realizing it was from Animal Chin. And I thought to myself, one day I'm going to be a pro skater. It was like an epiphany. Literally, I sucked so horrible. But I'm serious. At that time, I was horrible. But I realized that I felt that I was going to be a pro skater.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Like you
I
were
love that.
destined to be at that. Like you were
Destined.
on your way.
Were you doing the thing? Were you beating the drums?
No, I wasn't like manifesting
I know.
my destiny.
Even more so.
So were you fully aware of the videos going on back then, or?
Oh yeah. At that time, there were only a few videos, like Animal Chin, and I mean that's probably the only one I watched.
Was FTC around at this point?
FTC was around, but they were they sold golf gear, I believe.
Oh, really?
And then
been around for a long
And my
time.
man Kent Uehara, he actually was the son of the owner, the previous owner, and he encouraged his dad to carry skateboards in there. So he had a small little section in the back. And hey, I can't believe it turned into a skateboard shop.
dude.
You know,
I
Shout
never
out
knew
to
that
Frank.
actually. That it was.
Oh
golf
yeah,
Before.
yeah.
I thought maybe it was snowboarding or something, but
Because it had been around. I heard it. The FTC
Yeah,
had been around.
I forgot. Yeah,
It's been
Which
around
sport
for
it
like-
was.
Maybe like ski. Maybe?
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
I
Yeah.
think he's right though.
But they did have a snowboard shop though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was that was later on.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Let me fast forward it because like I want to get into like Dogtown, right?
Oh,
Which led
whoa.
into Think.
Whoa.
Which led into Think.
Damn.
This
This is true.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
that you
how
know
did
that.
this even come around? Dogtown back then, I mean, this was a Venice thing. How did it make its way up to San Francisco?
Well, I think Red Dog and Keith Cochran were kind of working a deal. Keith was helping Red Dog bring Dogtown back. even
AKA
though-
Jim Muir.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I was just with the right crew, Nick, Lockman, and Sam. So we ended up becoming AMs on Dogtown.
Sean Mendoli as well?
I don't think Sean was on
Okay,
there,
okay,
but
okay.
once we kind of like everything segued over to Think, that's when Sean was he was on as well.
That's when, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
How
I
did
mean,
how did you get connected with Dogtown though?
it was just through Keith Cochran. I think Keith Cochran and Red Dog were working a deal, and he might have brought Dogtown over to over to the Bay.
Okay.
And it was called DTS at that point.
DTS, yeah.
DTS, and so they were trying to rebrand. And
Well, they saw you at Embarcadero or something, or
no, I was just with the right crew.
Well, Keith Cochran
they
was up
wanted
there, right?
younger kids, so
Yeah.
Nick Lockman and Sam, and I was just kind of there.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I remember waiting for the package for like 3 weeks at Sam's house, and it never came. I mean, it was just the longest wait. It never came. And so, yeah, that one sucked.
Did you even get a box from them? Or did it go directly into Think
I
after
don't even
that?
think I ever got a box. Yeah, it went straight over to Think after that.
Okay. And then so when Think happened, like Nick Lockman came up with the name, right?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, they were Greg and Keith. They had a name.
Carol.
Nick was in the meeting, I believe, and they told Nick that it was going to be called Move Skateboards, MOVE. And Nick, he came back home. He's like, he didn't really like the name, and I guess he went to the dentist a few days after that meeting, and he got a sticker with the light bulb. You guys know the story.
Yeah.
Sticker with the light bulb, and then he went and he hit him up. He's like, you guys got to call it Think. And then
He's a little kid.
He's a little kid.
I
He
love
was
that.
he's probably only 8 at that time.
That is
9.
insane.
He was probably 9 at
Wow.
that time.
That's
And
so
Greg
sick.
Carroll and Keith were like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and now Think's a legendary brand.
Legendary.
I never knew that story.
And when the
actually.
Missing
never knew
Children
that either.
board came out, like that was kind of like not controversial, but like it wasn't like
Oh, wow.
it wasn't that like your parents must have been like were they bummed on that or like
No,
what was,
no, they were psyched. They were just bummed that they spelled my name with a C and not
No.
a K.
That happened to you too, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, you got it too.
how come
Oh, yeah,
nobody
they-
Wow.
how come nobody checks the name?
That happens to a lot of people, bro.
Wow, look at those beautiful boards.
that.
I love that
Do
shit.
you have that board?
I don't have it. No, I need it. Yeah, anybody willing to sell one to me for a good price?
I'll reach out to
I'll
him,
take
please.
it. Look at that. Look
mean-
at my shirt. Oh my god.
Back
That's
then
so
to
bad.
have you guys were on a board.
Well, this one wasn't as controversial as the other one where I was holding the gun.
The ad.
Yes, and it was actually on the board and a shirt.
Oh, it was on a board and
Yes.
a shirt.
I
thought it was just
forgot
the
what it
ad.
said, but I was just holding the gun and pointing it at
Yeah.
the viewer.
I forgot about that.
Right.
It was crazy.
And when you're doing it, are you just like, what is this?
That thing was heavy. I'm like, it
a real
was
gun.
heavy. I was so tiny. I was like, oh, okay, all right, take the photo already. It was like trying to, working my little muscles. at the time.
Was there any? I don't remember that ad, but I do remember it. But was there any like thing that was it was supposed to be, or like was there any like titles to it, or
Man,
like did it say something?
Roger would know that. I forgot what it said, but yeah, it said there was some kind of phrase
message
to
or
it.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Interesting.
just trying to be shock jock kind of vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
So how long were you on Think?
Oh, good question. So from about 91-ish, no, 90 to about 93. 1990 to 93.
That was it.
That was it. Yeah.
But Think kept going after you got off, though.
No, like
No,
after I quit, they couldn't sustain themselves.
What? So you were the catalyst for them going out. Wow, Carl.
I'm messing around. Yeah, they had a lot more life after us little guys. But I do remember at that same apartment, I quit Think to ride for New Deal
Why?
because that's like all my friends were. They had the better concave and everybody liked that company more. And then,
But here's your friends on Think.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I made that move.
How did
But
you break it to
I
Greg
tell you
Carroll?
one thing,
Go
though. When I got back on, Greg Carroll came to the house, right? Came to my place, Tommy Guerrero's old apartment, and he let me know. One thing he let me know, he's like, hey, we just ran this ad of you, that venture ad, and it was $2,000. I was like, oh, $2,000 for that? You guys paid money for that to put me in there?
You had no idea.
And I was like, right when I realized how expensive things were, it really made me appreciate what they were doing for me.
Of course.
So at that point, I was like, dude, can I get back on? I'm so sorry. And I ended up getting back on Think.
How
Briefly.
how really?
Yeah,
That- really
briefly.
quick. You quit. You got on New Deal, and then you got back on Think.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it wasn't like there were no contracts or anything like
Sure,
that.
yeah, sure,
I mean,
sure,
it's just
sure.
like, I'll get boards, and I was a young guy in the industry, so yeah, I went back to Think, and I think that might have been short lived, even though I really appreciated him because change is growth. And
But you weren't
I had
getting
to grow.
paid? Were you getting paid back then?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so young. I think I was only like 14.
Oh, okay. But you were on
Or-
the team, though.
I was on the team. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
AMs didn't really get paid back then, right?
Nah. Unless you were like right about to turn pro,
Yeah.
then maybe you'll get like $200.
Yeah.
I was getting paid.
Oh, you were getting paid? When I got on World, I was getting $100
There you
a
go.
month.
There you go.
And that was great money because
For
you
sure.
can buy things for a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
And, you'd be
Back
good.
then.
You get a soda for 35 cents and you were good.
The Shasta.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna say
get
Shasta.
Yeah, all day.
But wait a minute. So World was next, though, right? After you got back on Think.
World was next after Think, correct.
Now all these dudes were already on World, right? And
Yeah.
then
No. I don't think I was. I think he was on World before I was. I believe. Maybe I might be wrong, but
But I thought you
I was on
and
Blind.
other guys. Well, yeah.
what? For some reason, I always thought that he was on World before. I don't know. Unless I'm tripping.
Because I thought you got on because of the LA dudes.
I did pretty much. Yeah. I mean, because we had a connection, the Bay guys and LA guys, we were all pushing skateboarding, and there was mutual admiration for, between the two crews, the two cities. So
And kind of you wanted
No,
to
I
know
did.
what was going down in LA.
Oh, yeah.
You wanted to know, like LA probably wanted to know what was going on up there.
they had different tricks,
Yeah.
we had different tricks, and
Well,
we
you had
came
Henry
together.
Sanchez up there just inventing shit left and right.
Sheesh.
Mike Carroll.
Everybody
Bro.
was in. I mean, the skateboarding was so open. I mean, we had so many tricks to invent.
Right.
Yeah.
Because street style skateboarding was being created
It
at that
was.
time.
Was there any trick that you saw Henry do that you were just like, dude, this dude just did that? Like, I've never seen that. Like, I never even imagined that was possible.
I would have to say the fakie 5-0, fakie flip out.
Bro.
Because I had never seen
that
anybody
metal?
do, and he was going fast on the
Yeah.
metal thing with the statue. I've never seen
Yep.
anybody do a flip out of a trick.
I remember
And then he was
that,
going
bro.
backwards and Mach 10, full confidence, didn't even realize that he was actually creating history. You know?
Straight up.
Right? And
Probably
that-
he didn't even film it probably.
he filmed
Oh,
it
he did.
in a
Yeah.
line
Okay.
too. And he was just going, gassing it. You know,
good. That was
So
around
fast.
Tim and Henry, around when they were filming for Tim and Henry's, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was that in Tim and Henry's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in there.
Oh,
Fakey.
yeah, it must have been in
Yeah,
there.
it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay.
But we didn't probably see the whole line because
Oh yeah.
they cut it. They just showed that trick.
Did he
But
see him pushing away?
he
Yeah, pushing
like,
really
yeah,
fast away
bruh.
from it. Yeah. Switch Mongo style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch Mongo for love.
Straight up. People got something to say about that shit all the time now. I'm like, what?
Well, because they don't see good ones. You can watch Carl do it, and you're like, "That's how you're supposed to do it."
Yeah,
Thank you.
bro.
Appreciate that.
So I love seeing when you skate still to this day. You still have a beautiful switch Mongo push.
Straight
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You never push the other way, huh?
No, whenever I tried, I gave it I gave it like the old college try. I'm serious. I tried for like 2 months every single day to learn how to push switch, right? Like actual switch, you know.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it, man. I felt like a novice. Every time I would try it, I would trip over my feet. I just did not progress. It's like teaching an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
I couldn't go down that path. Switch Mongo for life.
Switch Mongo for life.
And when I see these younger kids do it nowadays, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
same,
like, okay, it stands out.
Yeah.
Big time.
For sure. It's nice. So the LA, San Francisco guys, right? So
Yes.
they got you on World.
Yeah.
Do you remember how that went down?
I don't think they necessarily got me on World. It was just because I was associated with the guys at EMB, you know, the younger crew. It was just like, oh, here are the kids. And I don't know who actually got me on, but Rodney was a big supporter at that time. But I filmed all this stuff for the World video.
Love Child.
You know, Love Child, switchback tail, pop over, Santa Monica, double-sided curbs, fakey, big frontside big spin back tail, you know, NBDs at the time, but you know, nothing big though. But man, and I remember receiving the Love Child video in my package, right? And I went over to LeVar's house. We had 14 people there. It was a premiere. I was so hyped. I'm the one that brought the video to them. I had footage in there, so I thought.
So you thought.
And so I'm not hating on anybody, but look, we watched that whole video, and I was like, okay, man, they really liked my footage. Like they put it toward the end, and then the credits roll, and I'm like, oh man, they put me in the credits. That's like they gave me the special part. They must have really, really liked my footage.
After Black Hammers,
And then
yeah.
it ends, the end, and I'm like, I was so devastated. That was a big moment. I feel like that was like the catalyst to me wanting to prove everybody wrong that doubted me, you know? Like that was always like my fuel, you know? If somebody said I couldn't do something, I'm going to do it.
Right.
You know? And I'm going to practice it in the shadows, in my backyard, learn that trick, and then show it to you.
Did you find out ever why? Did you ask them why? Did they ever tell you? Did you ever find out why you weren't in there?
I never asked them. I was getting paid $100 a month at the time, you know, so I thought
Right.
for sure.
Huh.
But I did hear that like my style didn't really cut. Like my style wasn't on par with the people in
That
the
were in
video.
the video.
Like the level of skating at that point, I mean, these guys were just killing it. And I had some catching up to do. So I think it was like an executive decision to like not put me in there because I wasn't ready.
Okay.
Even though I thought I was ready. I look back at that footage. I did a switch in hill to switch 5 at the ponds.
Ooh.
I was like, damn.
Oh, so you were coming down here? We were skating
I
with
was
like
coming
Tim
down here.
Dowling, or
Dude, Tim Dowling.
Yeah.
Staying at his house
Sock,
in Santa
filming
Monica.
with Sock, maybe?
The best experience ever.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't
Tim-
think your tricks are definitely like on par. I don't think that was the case. I think that is, I don't know what to think, to be honest. I think you should have been in there.
Well, yeah, it might have been a style thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember Keith Cochran, God bless his soul, you know, he's one of those guys that'll tell you got a booger in your nose or you got something going on, you know, fix it.
That's
right?
that's a real one, though.
Dude, a real one, because I was so offended by this, but he told me that, he's like, Carl, you got to bend your knees. When you skate, you don't bend your knees. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I bend my knees. And I saw some footage of myself. I'm like, oh, he's right. I actually will have more power if I bend my knees when I land, and I will avoid injury.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, so then I started bending my knees.
Well, you
And
say
it
you were
made
stiff-legged, maybe?
Yeah, I was stiff-legged. It made a world of difference. It completely opened up like everything for me in skateboarding.
Wow.
I never knew that.
The landing, you know, and doing my ollies. I was bending down more. You know, I was able to take more impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
here we go right
this
here.
is transfer tape around that time.
Look at those knees. Look.
This shit was the best.
Oh damn! You really don't bend your knees.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Yeah, but the style's still there though. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Well, yeah, looking back at it now, you know, but it was a big bummer.
Well, let me picture this in Love Child. Okay, his part comes on. Boom. Yeah. It's got
No, because you're gonna evolve into your style. Like you're still fairly young.
Well, I mean, Spencer Fujimoto, Daniel Castillo, like they were youngins too in this
Dang.
And
video.
they still were evolving into their styles
totally.
as well.
This is crazy.
I can just watch that push and know it's you.
Bringing me back.
Right?
Look at that. That's called a long push. The long push.
Bro, this is fun.
So you knew that you were filming for this video? Because
Well-
I feel like back then a lot of people just filmed. They didn't know
That's
that they were filming
crazy.
for a video.
Well, I didn't know what we were filming for.
Okay.
It was just, we were filming, having
and then
fun.
this came out and you were like, oh, this is what it was.
This is what it was. And then I
This is
wasn't
what
in there.
This is what it's not.
And you know, it's
obviously.
crazy because around that time I actually stayed at Rodney's house for a couple of weeks, just he and I. And he just like was the best dude ever. He took me in. And so I was dumbfounded. I was so surprised that I wasn't even in the video then.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, man, like
How long were you on before the video came out?
Oh man, probably like I would say a year or so. Yeah. I was getting paid. I was kind of living off that money too.
Yeah.
Oh, so at that point it was from 15 to 16, and when I was 16 I got kicked out the house for being a jerk to my mom.
Okay.
Best thing that ever happened to me. But I would live off that money.
Right.
And I remember one time me and Lee Smith were taking a train somewhere and we got robbed. It was early in the month. And they took my Walkman and they took $80 from me in the elevator. This dude,
What?
It was catastrophic at the time. My Walkman?
Yeah.
Everything.
My Walkman with my good headphones, my dough. That was crazy.
Yeah. That's
He robbed
big,
you
for
and
sure.
Lee Smith?
Yeah,
Damn.
in the elevator, just going
like
up from the train.
Off strength, did he have like a knife or anything?
No, he was just a big old dude. Big old dude. We
Big
were
old
just
dude.
we were
robbing
small.
little kids.
Robbing
man.
little
That's
kids.
crazy, bro. What does he think that they have on? Well, you had a Walkman, $80.
Yeah,
I mean, you had a lot on it,
I had
but
a lot, and that $80 went a long way back then.
Damn.
When you quit again, did you have another conversation with Greg Carroll?
I don't believe so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
You just went straight from Think onto World?
Yeah, it was pretty self-explanatory. I mean, World was the better.
It was the best.
I mean, it was the best company back then. So
For sure.
you know.
But you don't remember having you just
No.
bounced.
It was then there was no
So funny.
bad blood or anything between us.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a very, I didn't know him back then,
Yeah.
but I feel now he's very like understanding. He seems like a reasonable
man.
guy.
I
you
love
know?
Greg.
But has so much passion, bro.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be here without Greg Carroll. So many skaters
A lot of
wouldn't be
people,
here
yeah.
without him. He believed in me when nobody else believed in me. He saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And I tell you one thing, he does, you guys had him on here. He spoke about his like spiritual work, right? He does Reiki. So it was an LRG trip where we went to China, and you were on that trip.
Yeah.
It was my very last LRG trip, and I couldn't even walk. I had plantar fasciitis, right? And on the way to the airport to fly to China, I stopped at his house and got a Reiki session. And he did his thing on me for a couple hours, and then I went on that trip. I couldn't walk. I tell you one thing, I was able to skate though. I couldn't even walk, but I was able to skate. I was able to get the switchback when they nose grind down a handrail.
Wow.
And there's one clip where I like land and I turn around and I had to like jump off my board and I'm hobbling with one leg up, like on one foot, you know? So like he really helped me. It was a really crazy experience actually, because I wasn't a believer, you know, fully, but then he actually made me believe in energy work because he did it on me and I felt the benefits.
You could skate.
I could skate.
Couldn't walk.
Couldn't walk. So painful to walk, but I could skate.
That's insane.
So
That is.
I don't know if I can fully attribute that to Greg, but I'm giving it to you, Greg.
So after the World fiasco, you weren't in Love Child. Did you quit like soon after?
It was more like being let go, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever quit World.
Okay.
Because, I mean, who quit World at that time?
I was going to say, like,
You
that's a bold move.
So after World, I believe I got on Stereo.
What about Clean?
Oh, well, Clean came after.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Stereo happened because Mike York was on Stereo. We were like best friends. And I don't know if you guys know the story that what happened one day at EMB when he received his box and he didn't like what he got. And then Jason Lee and Chris Dune Pastris were sitting at the table having coffee, and they witnessed my man Mike not like his boards, and he took one out of the box and he focused the brand new board, and that was it. They were like, okay, well, you're not on anymore. And then I wasn't getting hooked up because I was getting hooked up because of Mike.
Through Mike.
Yeah, through Mike. So, man.
Wow.
He blew it.
He blew it for both of you guys.
But, that's what led us to where we're at now.
100%.
So, thank you, Mr. York. He really didn't fuck with those boards.
But
he
if you
really
were-
didn't like those boards.
Really?
Yeah.
But if you were on, so you weren't really on Stereo, or were you?
No, I wasn't really on.
Okay, so you're kind of like
homie
it's that
hookup.
whole
Okay.
that same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on this, on that, even though you're just getting boards.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Clean was after that.
Yeah, Clean came after that, but before Clean, there was another company.
I love
that.
this. There's so many.
This one brother reached out to me. He wanted to turn me pro. It was an acronym. I forgot the name, but it didn't last long. But I did receive a few checks.
I thought you turned pro for Clean.
I did turn pro for
Oh,
Clean.
you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clean, yeah. So I turned pro when I was 17, 1994. It was me and Jonas Ray on the company. Really amazing young man named Kyle from Reno. His father was wealthy. He was smart. And so he started Clean Skateboards, and we got to travel the world. The first time I went to Europe was with Clean Skateboards, and it was just an amazing experience.
What was it, a tour?
It was-
What were you doing out there in Europe?
We went there for the Radlands contest.
Oh, the whole tour, the contest tour thing.
Yeah. That's Radlands in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and it was amazing. Yeah, I had my name on the board. I thought I made it. Honestly, getting my name on the board prematurely put the fire under my butt.
Really?
Big time, because I was like, I knew I wasn't at the pro level, but it definitely catapulted me and was a catalyst to me becoming an actual pro skater.
Well, when you got on Mad Circle, you had to go back to AMP.
I had to go back. And how do you know this,
I
dog?
know shit, bro.
That's
Damn,
crazy.
you and Raymond Molnar are the only two guys I've ever
Wow.
heard that happening to.
Very interesting. Yeah.
I've
I can't even believe you know this, honestly. That you do your homework, dog, because when I got on Mad Circle,
But how did that make you feel, though?
it made me feel great.
It did.
Because I was aware that I turned pro prematurely. So it gave me a chance to turn pro in the right way with a dope company that was legit.
That's kind of dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was just filming,
sometimes I feel like that could-
stacking.
That could take the wind out of your sails, man.
Oh,
I gotta
yeah.
Go back to being, I've made it to this level.
But I
now
get what
gotta
you're
go back.
saying. It's like because it wasn't
Totally.
like a total like legit company in that sense.
Oh,
I mean, if they're going to
Yeah.
Europe on
No.
tours, that seems
but
legit.
don't get me wrong. Through other people's eyes, in the sense of where the skateboard industry was at that time, I mean, it was a relatively new company, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's probably why you felt that much better when
Yeah.
it was like, this is like,
Well,
my
and there
peers.
were only two guys on the team.
Yeah.
Me and Jonas Ray. Jeremy Ray's brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my brother. Yeah.
Definitely.
And they probably, as a skateboard company, they probably needed pro boards to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part. But Mad Circle was a big one.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
Just knowing Justin,
Justin Gerard?
You see, I was a little guy in the photo right next to him. So I actually he had a girlfriend named Brooke at the time. She was like really beautiful lady, blonde lady, just super nice, so motherly, just caring, took care of us. But I had the biggest crush on her.
Oh, really?
So I would always be at his house because she was just so kind. I mean, clearly,
She
nothing
making you
could happen. I was a
sandwiches
little
and-
kid, and she was just the best lady.
Okay.
And then that's probably why I hung out with him so much.
And therefore, you're just like, let me get on Mad Circle.
Yeah.
man.
Well, I had to prove it. I'm ready. And clearly he saw that my abilities were, at that point to actually, I was worthy of getting hooked up.
Because there was one one more company before, right? Was Profile before?
Oh, Profile.
Was that before Mad Circle? or
Okay,
after?
thank you. So Profile came after Clean.
Clean,
So,
Profile, then
Clean,
Mad
Profile.
Circle.
So I was pro on Profile, still not legit company. So I didn't really.
But it was your boys again.
It was
Yeah.
sick company.
Yeah, it
though.
was dope.
Yeah,
It was a
definitely
sick.
cool.
It was a sick company.
That was
It
sick.
was
Cool.
me, Spencer Fujimoto, Lee Smith, Stevie Williams was on there too. I
Was
believe.
Brad Johnson on there, or did you just film everything?
Maybe he was filming.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was a great.
Was
great
Henry
little
was on there
company.
too.
Henry Sanchez. Yes.
Yeah.
You got to pull up the ad where we're all looking at the camera, and that was a good ride right there. We got to design graphics. We got to really, get our hands dirty. We had a ramp in the warehouse, and it was great.
And how old were you at that time?
I was about 18. Yeah, pretty young.
And that was through Experience and Pure.
Yep, experience in Pure Wheels.
Right.
In Pure Wheels, they actually, I remember they were paying costing $400 a month
That
for
was
his pro
big.
wheel, and we were like, "What?" That was the
Back
Back
big.
then,
move.
for a wheel,
That was
bro.
like equivalent to Maloof Money coming in and paying people $50,000. I swear to God,
For real.
it was.
Right?
It actually
For
was.
a wheel company,
Oh
all
my
day.
God,
All day. Definitely.
insane, dude. Here's a Profile ad.
there it is.
Hard.
Look
Wow.
at those kids right there.
That's like
Oh,
the
look,
camel font,
look,
right?
Not shown. Little Stevie. Look at that.
Well, he was
brother.
on the East Coast, right?
That's crazy. Look at those little dreads.
What, do you remember meeting Stevie for the first time?
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember like actually meeting him for the first time, but I do remember noticing him.
Yeah.
And being like, damn, this kid is like, he's different. He had a different charisma about him. He came to SF and just fit right in. I mean, to the point where he ended up being like one of the top dogs in our crew immediately, just because of his East Coast drive.
Yeah. And have you seen him in videos before this point, or just like you've heard about him? Just
I knew who he was.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And I think he was in Underworld Element video.
okay.
Yeah. So I knew who he was. So it was like a big deal. Like this East Coast guy from Phillies coming to California. He was welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Speaking of Profile and it being kind of under the same roof as Experience and Pure, Jamie Thomas, right? He was on Experience,
He
right?
was on Experience. Yeah.
Were you? Did you ever cross paths with him? I mean, he lived at EMB for a while.
Yeah.
I would you skate with him? Did you not? Like, what was the vibe between Jamie and everybody down there?
Jamie was awesome. He came with a lot of power and energy, and he didn't really respect the pecking order, at EMB. So the older guys didn't really mess with him because of that. So because he didn't care. He was like, I'm going to do me. He was very sure of himself. And so Ollie and the Gons got barefoot and everything, he just knew he had a mission. He was on a mission.
He was.
Yeah.
And he didn't care about the pecking order, but it was kind of to his detriment in the crew. So he wasn't really invited in, welcomed in with open arms.
But I don't even know. Did he even want to be in the crew though? I don't even know if he.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Definitely
But I
not.
don't think he wanted. Like
Definitely not.
You said he was on a path. Like
You just wanted to skate.
he just wanted to skate, and he knew where he was going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. But since you're under the same roof now, Profile, you never even it wasn't.
Yeah, he was on a different
He was on a
level.
different-
So
yeah.
we were so busy skating the spots that we were used to, and he was just navigating the city, and he was on a tear, like skating spots that we didn't even think were skatable. That's what Jamie was on. He was on some other stuff, navigating the city, finding stuff in the cut, doing his thing.
Where was like the main spots you would skate back then?
I think the main spots that we would skate back then were EMB, Safeway curbs, Fort Miley, Civic Center Ledge, Brown Marble, Black Rock, and just like manuals around EMB.
Yeah.
What was the big manual pad that everybody was skating? Is that Safeway?
Oh, Fort Mason.
That's
Oh,
Fort
yeah.
the manual pad.
Yeah,
The
I can't forget Fort Mason.
Henry Fakey manuals.
Oh,
Turn
my
around.
gosh,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
the hard way.
Yeah.
Jovantae. Yeah,
I love that.
crazy memories.
I never skated it, but I wanted.
So is it like you basically
man.
would just skate there, right? You weren't out skating the random street spots, right?
Oh, we would sometimes skate random street spots.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But it had to be like a ledge, or a manual.
He's straight up.
Were you?
But-
Were you guys
what about
bombing hills?
What about Hubba at this point? Was that even a thing?
Oh, Hubba! I think we went there to hang out. Nobody had skated the stairs. Nobody had skated the ledge, and I I believe, who was the first person to skate it? Was it Wade Spire? Crooked Grind?
Damn.
Maybe.
Who was the first person to call it Hubba?
Maybe James Kelch.
Yeah.
Because that's
leader.
where the
sounds
people
about
would go, like
Smoking
the guys
their
who
Hubbas.
smoking crack,
Yeah.
Smoking their
which
crack.
was you guys called
Yeah,
Hubba.
Yeah, it was in the cut, up like by the trees, up on the hill. They had a vantage point. They can see who's coming over. They could hide their stuff if they had to.
I love the fact that to this day, Hubbas are called Hubbas,
Oh
and it's
my
because
God.
of crack.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
Hubba Rock.
think
I
about
know,
that. It's crazy,
powerful.
Carl.
Very powerful.
It's
Yeah.
insane. So Mad Circle. Oh,
Okay.
I was a big fan of Mad Circle, man. Blow the Horns and 5 Flavors and everything. And so you eventually turned pro for Mad Circle.
Eventually, I turned pro. We had, a video come out, 5 Flavors, and then we had a bunch of
Yes.
ads in 411 Video Magazine.
Yeah.
And
The industry section. You got.
oh my God, the industry section. Anything that Justin did was good.
It was, yeah.
And so I was just happy to be a part of anything that he was
It had
doing.
a good vibe, dude.
It really did.
Like your part in that 5 Flavors was so good with I don't even know I can't even do the song, but the song. And
Who was it?
it was like a dream
Yeah,
sequence.
it was Ween, and the way
Yeah,
that
there you
came
go.
about, we were on a coast to coast tour. It was with Mad Circle and New Deal, and I remember on the way back, I was sleeping in the back of the van, and I was woken up by this song. I'm like, oh, this song.
It was a dream sequence.
It was, and I was like, I'm using this song for my part. So the guy was
you
You
driving.
called it out. You
this.
called it out. I got this one.
Absolutely, and then it worked. Back then you didn't need music rights. You can use
Right.
whatever you
So true.
wanted,
Yes.
and I miss the good old days
I
with
know.
that.
Man.
I know.
Man,
Last
That's
trick.
amazing, dude.
Last trick in the part. Switchback 5-0 front shove.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, you
2
always
months. 2 months.
You
It
were
took
trying
me
that
it took me so long to get that, Chris.
Really?
Oh my God.
Would you try
how
it like
young I
every?
look.
I mean, you could skate that place every day, but you weren't trying it every day, obviously. Like
Pretty much. I would give it a
really?
good,
You would give it a good go.
a good like half hour each time I skated.
Wow.
Because I knew I can do it. I understood the concept of it, but I had to work on my weight. And so once I learned that I had to lean more on my heel in the grind, and that it was all uphill from there.
Here we go. This is it right here. I fast forwarded it a little.
Even though this is the only one that I ever did.
right here.
That happens.
Back in the day, we learned tricks to film it once.
And
one
be
time.
done.
Yeah,
One and
yeah,
done.
yeah,
baby.
that was
One
it.
and done.
All day.
It's right after this, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Perfect.
How stoked you are. Hey, to be honest, this is genuinely you all the time. When you
Oh my God.
that's when you do a trick or someone else does the
Oh,
trick.
I get
you
hyped.
that
I get
excited.
hyped. Yeah.
Oh.
I can't control it, Kelly. And then my man
Smurf.
Richard Jefferson came up and Smurf. That's crazy. Wow.
Dude.
Thank
I
you, sir.
always loved that about you on sessions, man. Your energy when someone's doing something. Oh, you find the beauty in so much,
Thank
so
you.
much, so many things.
Appreciate that.
I love it when you like see someone do a kickflip. You're like, oh my god, dog,
Well,
that was beautiful.
So yeah, you know what that is? I see where somebody's at. And if I see them pushing their limits,
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. Or if I see somebody do something dope, I'm compelled to to express that. Like, that was amazing. Good job.
Especially back then, I think too. It wasn't I don't know if the consistency in skateboarding was there. It was like the try for hours type shit, where you would try for the hard, like you said, one and
God.
done. You would try for hours, days, weeks, months,
Months.
and then boom, you landed it, and then never again.
Yeah,
but
never
it was
again.
that celebration though.
I wonder where that comes from. Because the new skaters, they learn these hard tricks, and then they're doing them, getting 9.3.
They got 'em on lock.
You know?
Doing them,
You tell them, hey,
You
switch
tell.
back 5-0 front shove. Oh yeah, okay,
Oh,
cool. I'll
easy.
go do it. you know?
and they're sleeping. And they're gonna grind like 30 feet, and then balance it, not even hitting their nose or anything, just shove it out like easy.
It's so crazy,
Man,
bro.
how do you guys do this?
They've
What about-
evolved.
But I do miss those days of not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
trial
dude.
and error and just that. I finally got
You know
it.
what gets me now, guys?
What?
I don't you probably understand this. I don't know how dudes or skaters do the long frontside nose slides.
That's tough, dude.
It is
Yeah.
incredible. It's like literally that's the signature of like if you're a dope young skater and you're doing it, you got that trick, nollie flip out, whatever. But I tried it. You gotta like be sliding backwards.
You have to stand on
Yeah.
top of it.
You
I
gotta
got
stand on top of
inspired
it.
from front noses by Moses Akonin.
Oh,
Right,
interesting.
Moses
I love
Akonin,
that dude.
big fan of that dude. The way that he'd put his foot on the
yeah.
front nose, like pushing it almost.
But there's no way to hold it in that position,
Right.
Because that's the same position I do. How do you do it? You do it,
You
right?
stand on top of it. You make sure that thing is waxed to all hell, and you stand right on top of it,
Man.
and you
Yo,
just stand there. That's it.
When I saw Felipe Mota do it recently,
I was just gonna say that
because he stood on like a switchback tail.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I could switchback tail further than I could front nose.
I feel like
that's
he.
interesting.
yeah, I feel like I could do it, and then, that's the way he got in and then stood like a switchback.
But
tail.
I feel like it took him a little while for him to like change positions. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
got in front nose, and then he slowly just was like, okay, now I'm in switchback tail.
I have
Yeah.
to watch that again now
Yeah,
to
yeah,
study
Based on his
this.
body,
yeah, it's interesting.
Cheat code right there, Kelly.
Yeah.
Wow, because I can hold switchback tails.
Yeah, see, like I
Yeah.
feel like that makes more sense for some. Oh,
Interesting.
here we go, right here.
right there, he turned like
Look, switchback tail right
yeah,
here.
You
Wow.
could see.
Damn, they slow-moed that at the right time too. Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, front nose
Yeah.
though.
What about
Moses
Wow.
Akonin.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about like, what was it like going from Barcadero? And like, I noticed in your part in Five Flavors, it's like not in Barcadero those spots you're talking about anymore. It's like Pier 7 and Union Square. Was
Oh wow.
so like what was that? Was Union Square always a spot that you guys skated back then, or like
Well-
they come later?
Union Square did kind of come later because the ledges were so high.
Oh yeah,
You know, we had to be, we just had to be way better to skate it,
Yeah.
But that was like the hangout spot at nighttime. So we'd go to do our thing at Pier 7 and go to Union, and that's where, we'd do our thing, have fun.
Yeah.
And you just ended up skating there. Got that switch front 5-0 that I think, I forgot who shot that. Maybe Blayback shot that.
Oh
Yeah, I think Blayback shot it. Switch front 5-0 at nighttime.
it's kind of like
Blurry.
yeah, blurry a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, you got some iconic photos with Blayback. Dude.
Hey man, thank you, Blayback. He
Yeah,
was
big
patient with
time.
me, so calm, and just the eye of the tiger.
Oh dang.
Because you had that photo we brought up earlier, the switchback tail. And
Oh, man.
as simple as that trick is nowadays, that photo is kind of timeless. To be honest,
Well,
it's beautiful.
That's funny you say that because we were at Pier 7 and he was like, "Hey, I need a photo for an ad." I was like, "Okay, well let's go do something." He's like, "Hey, how about switchback tailing the ledge at Bay Blocks, the metal ledge?" I was like, "No problem." I did like 30 of them in my sleep. I mean, not like to brag or anything. That's when I was like really feeling that trick, right? No problem. So that's why he got this one amazing shot because we took so many, and I was doing it. I was going fast. I really wish I could relive that day because man,
I mean, that belt is flying.
that belt
baby,
is
you know?
flying. I was very confident in what I was doing. I understood the trick.
Got the tongue out.
Man, there was nothing you can tell me. He's like, "Oh, you can't do switchback tail? Okay, watch. I'll show you. I'll do it right now."
Oh, you were on fire back then. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely like feeling it.
Yeah.
And he had 2 flashes too. You can see the shadow and mad circle sticker. It was sick.
I always got like nervous sometimes shooting with certain photographers,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of who they were and their status in the industry. And
Shooting
you're
with
just
like Atiba back then. Oh my god,
Crazy,
Atiba back
right?
then. Oh my god, that was crazy.
Did you ever really shoot with him?
No, but I just couldn't even imagine. Shooting with Atiba, like, oh my god, I'm shooting with Atiba Jefferson.
No, that's awesome.
Come a long way.
Sure has.
How long were you on Mad Circle? When you were on till the end.
I was on till the end.
It was
bittersweet ending, unfortunately. Like my oldest son's mom and we were pregnant. I think she was like 8 months pregnant, and then Mad Circle went out of business because of some like internal beef between Mad Circle and the distribution. And so I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I was only getting paid $800 a month, but that $800 really lasted. It was money to live off of.
For sure.
And so at that time I was compelled to start working at this place called Za Pizza, and it was skaters didn't own it, but they hired skaters. And
Oh wow,
I
a
was
lot of skaters worked there.
a
right?
lot. Yeah, still.
And this
Yeah.
is 98, 99-ish.
This is 98, 99-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I started working there. I would do 3 days a week. every Friday I would work 14-hour shifts from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. and all by myself selling pizzas by the slice. I would get great tips. I met so many incredible people. That's when I got into doing my art. That's when I got into reading a lot more. I love those days.
Was skating, was it now not, were you not skating as much now, or you were skating just as much?
That was the catalyst to me doing the 14-hour shifts so I can skate more.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, I was fiending skating, it, you know. And then eventually, you know, things turned around for me.
Well, Expedition came into play, right?
Yeah, I was looking at a magazine one day and I saw like the ad. It was like a 6-page ad in the magazine. And
that was insane.
And I'll tell you one thing. That was the very first company that had more than one black guy in the team. It had Stefan Laurent and Alfonso Ross. And I was like, oh, no way. There's not just one token brother on the team. So I was like, that's great. I want to be on that team. So I hit up Troy Morgan. I just called the office and they're like, well, you know, team's kind of full, you know, like we'll send you boards. So I literally had to be, I was an 8-month ordeal where I filmed, no pay, got the boards. And then it was apparent. They're like, this guy's
that's how to do it,
doing his thing. Like we got to put him on. And I got a board, you know, and then like, you know, yeah, it can segue into Organika too if you want real quick.
Oh, no, 100%. Well, you were on Expedition for a while before Organika started, right?
Yeah, for about a couple years.
Yeah.
And then like my very last Expedition board was called the Organically Grown series. It had like all these leaves and, you know, it was very beautiful. And I guess the board did really well. And so Troy was like, hey, like, let's start a board company.
Were you guys even in talks before that? Have you mentioned you want to do a board company with him? Or
that's a good question. So at that time, so I was kind of like, you know, doing my thing, and so World Industries, they wanted me back on. So they came to me
this
and
was after they switched ownerships and all that stuff.
Yeah. New company, Wet Willie days.
Flame Boy was coming in.
Flame Boy.
Right.
So they came to me with a contract, like we're gonna pay you this much, get you it was like
how much?
$4,000 a month.
Okay.
Something like
in
that.
A car or something.
$4,000 a month. And how do you know this?
I know stuff.
How does my brother know this?
I know
Okay.
stuff.
So like, yeah, $4,000 a month, and then a BMW. You know, they're gonna pay my car note for a BMW. And I was like, man, like I would love to do that. I'm only getting paid $1,000 a month. I spoke to Nicole, Elon's mom, and she was like, well, you know, it's a lot of money, but you know, you're on your way up right now, and you got to be loyal.
Oh wow!
So then I didn't do it.
Okay.
You know, and then I showed Troy the contract. I was like, I mean, you know, this is what they were offering me, and then I don't know if it was a physical contract. I don't remember, but it was definitely a solid offer. So I shared the offer with him, and then he was like, man, I appreciate your loyalty, Karl. Let's start a wheel company together.
Okay.
And so the wheel company segued over to the board company. And initially, I didn't want to call it Organika. Like Troy Morgan came up with the name Organika. It was just, I wanted to call it Altered States of Mind. ASM. Because I think I was, you know, really in my hippie days. I was really out there in nature, and that's when I was becoming in tune with myself, and it was all about the altered states of mind I would.
You didn't want Organika.
Well, then when he came up with the name Organika, I was like, well, that's my lifestyle. I was like, I don't really want to share my life. I don't want to that's boring.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to share the fact that I like eating organic produce. You know, like, but he was like, no, this is it. This is it.
It's so
like,
funny because it fits you. It fits you and everything about you so perfectly.
Yeah.
You think Organika, you think Karl Watson, like right away.
Well,
and
thank you, Troy.
You were doing the iPath as well, and it fit in right in with iPath.
Well, I think, iPath came a little bit down the road. Yeah.
Was it? No, you were rocking iPath in an Expedition.
I sure was. You're right. Okay. Yeah. You're right, Kelly.
So it made sense.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw Organika being presented to the world was in the Alone video.
Oh, at the end.
It was the beginning.
In the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
That one line.
The Null Heel front nose grind.
I had like some jeans with yellow pocket or something like that.
Yeah, dude. So sick. But so you had, that was when you were getting it ready for that video.
That
kind of like the little announcement.
exactly. Yeah. That's so crazy. I forgot about all that.
But no one knew what it was really.
No, not yet.
You just
Not
see
yet.
this Organika thing pop up. You're like, what is this?
Well, this was your part from
Here's the
Alone.
video. My favorite video of all time, the Alone video. I worked the hardest for this part. I got to edit it with Trevor Prescott, rest in peace.
Oh, wow.
And Tommy Guerrero song, like, I did. It was just my favorite part because I was involved in the whole process and I was very strategic. I was methodical on what tricks I was doing and this is my favorite part.
I want to go back to
This
that
is 2001, by the way.
2001.
I like to put timelines on here
Sheesh.
so we can know like when this was.
Man,
Can you rewind it to the nose manual, 180 switch nose manual?
I'm an old man.
Dude, because you were the first one.
23 years ago.
I always
Man.
love this because there was a gap and you kind of snapped. It wasn't
yeah.
just all four wheels at one on the
Oh,
ground.
no way.
Yeah.
No way. And it's funny. I got that trick idea from Robbie Holmes.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So it was the first one I saw try it at Pier 7. I'm like, oh, but what if you like give it a little hop, a little nollie?
Right.
Then that's what kind of like made it a little bit different.
Yeah.
So this was a part that you really, really, really tried.
Yeah. I mean, I tried
put
for
some-
all of my
Yeah,
parts.
I'm not saying- yeah,
However,
yeah.
this was the one. I mean, I was at my peak.
Right.
I felt like it was just all coming easy. I had a broken toe here. A broken toe, but yet I was still able to skate.
When you were filming for this, did you know about that Organika was right on the horizon?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was still
Okay.
riding the Expedition interlock boards, which were
yeah.
the best things in the world. When I first saw that board at Troy's house, I was like, "You're going to change skateboarding. This is the one innovation that skateboarding is going to appreciate."
Okay.
You remember what it was, right?
I do. It was
Yeah.
it had the truck. It was a lot
Oh.
easier to put the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So
so-
it came with the thing in it? No.
Yeah, so 5 plies.
Yeah.
They'd make a 5-ply board, drill the holes in, put in the rivets on the bottom, and put the final 2 plies on
Yes,
top.
Okay, that's right.
So these boards were so strong because they didn't have holes all the way through. It took a while to get even used to them, but they would last forever, man. And I think the one thing that was not good is that the bolt kept getting loose.
Yeah, over
You
time
know,
it did get
over
a little
time,
loose.
you know.
And it was also weird for me to not see the bolts.
Oh yeah, that was
On
another
top.
one for a lot of people.
I can't.
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But you and Shani love those
Oh
boards.
yeah, and Lambert too.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to ollie San Diego stairs if he didn't have that board.
And
I'll tell you
wasn't it
that.
just an Allen wrench?
It was
key?
just an Allen
so
wrench
all,
at the
all you
bottom.
needed was one Allen wrench to tighten it up on the bottom of the trucks.
Yeah,
that was it.
And there was nylon on the bolts,
Okay.
for the threading. Like he really tried to make it work, but it
I
just
remember
it didn't.
that.
It's a great
It
idea.
didn't
Work.
stick.
Yeah, it didn't
A
stick.
lot of innovations
effort.
in skateboarding.
I'm like,
just
man, bring that
don't
back,
stick.
dog. Bring it back.
Well, now maybe the technology is a little different.
Hey, there you go,
know? Maybe
right?
it'll
For
stay.
sure.
Stay. You could have drawn on little bolts.
Oh,
Take a
yeah,
little
yeah.
Sharpie,
Funny
draw
you
it on.
say that,
That's it.
right? I thought that too.
Did you?
But then it'd be like asymmetric. Be like, dang, I did it wrong. And it's like, it's throwing me off. I can't do my tray flips now.
Man, I only put 2 bolts on them.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
Dude, SF, I feel like we got the 2 bolt thing from you guys.
Oh, probably.
were you running 2 bolts back
2
then?
bolts for sure.
Yeah.
But did you guys ever in the early days when we had the long bolts, when boards started having noses, we would turn the screws upside down.
Yeah,
I heard
Upside
you
down.
talking
I
about
did
that, right?
And it
Yeah.
would give us more lift on our ollies.
yeah.
However, it was so dangerous. If you landed on that, that was short lived.
That was a backfire.
yeah, and that was short lived for,
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah. Just like pressure
It-
flips.
Yeah, that was very short lived as well.
Yeah, I remember you talk about that all the time. I never did that.
Yeah.
I did the 2 bolts.
I did the 2 bolts
yeah.
too. That was short lived for me
I
as
feel
well.
like Sheffy brought that down from SF or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the rumors that I heard.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows?
Was it always like the top right and bottom left, or was it just whatever?
The top.
I think
the 2 of the top. Oh, you're talking about the 2 bolts.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be diagonal.
It had to be
Diagonal.
diagonal. You'd
Yeah.
be crazy if you just
No,
did the top
diagonal.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you did the top like that and the bottom like that, it wouldn't work. It would be your board would be turned all weird. It
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
be
yeah.
symmetric.
Right.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
for it to
Right,
work.
right.
Yeah. I was gonna say that alone video was the reason why I wanted to get on Expedition. When I saw that
No
video,
way.
hell yeah, dude!
Actually?
I went to that premiere and I was like, I want to skate
Oh.
for that team.
You were at the premiere.
I went to the premiere
at what's it called again?
La Paloma Theater.
La Paloma.
Yeah,
I remember going to that premiere.
Yeah.
And Troy wanted me to like go on the stage and say something.
Uh-huh.
I was so timid. I was literally like, I was just like, I don't know what it is about skaters sometimes, how we just do not want to like express ourselves in front of people. You know, I mean, I don't. It took me a long time to be able to do this, like be on here and talking on the camera, but I was just like so timid being on stage. It was a disservice bringing me up there, a disservice to myself. I'm serious. It was horrible, but the video part was good. Yeah, I did.
You did?
But I remember I can feel the energy from that moment. Like I should have broke out of my shell a little bit. I had something good to show. I had this part that I was very proud of. I could have been smiling and happy instead of being shy.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the premiere was awesome. Like Stefan was in there. Ryan Gallant had his big part where he destroyed it.
Oh my god,
that part was insane.
Oh, Ryan, yeah.
And
He's still
Richard,
killing
Shani, Chris Lambert had a gnarly last part.
Oh yeah.
Alf, the no slide was in there. Down the freaking
Oh
long
my
ass
god,
rail.
was he wearing all white too?
Was he? I don't know.
He loved that rail, and he was all about his fits. Alfonso Rawls would kill it.
Been about his
Oh
fits.
my god.
What about Stefan Laurent's fits?
Oh, you know,
He had a little short.
Yeah, little short shorts.
they weren't short shorts. He did the shants though. He did the he.
Dude,
hiked
He
his-
cut some pants
he
and
cut
making
them up,
them
yeah.
short.
There were some short ass shorts.
really good style.
Though.
Oh,
I'm
hell
not-
yeah.
bro. He
But-
was such dude. So
He was the
bad.
originator of the short shorts.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't too into it though. Like
No, yeah.
at that
Back
time.
then.
no,
Nah,
no.
not at
But
that
I
time.
really like him. I really like him.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Now people.
But that's kind of what made him stood out back then too. Not only his
for sure.
skateboarding was phenomenal,
Hella
but his
pop, you know, good style.
Yeah, dude.
whatever
Trick
happened to
selection.
him. Did he kind of disappear after Expedition? I feel what happened?
He just
No, he was
went
out
in
to-
France.
He was in France.
Yeah, and he just
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of did his thing, you know.
Did his thing.
Yeah.
Well, for Lord's Wheels, and
Yeah,
he had like some
Lord's.
footage in there.
Yeah.
And he's still out there. He's working with the Olympics out there right
Oh,
now
okay.
for
Yeah,
skateboarding.
Stefan,
Yeah.
you're doing it, brother.
He's
I know
good
you
dude.
got on after Stefan was already on, and Alfonso. But do you know how that even happened? How Stefan got on Expedition, being in?
I have no idea. It
Yeah.
had to be some kind of connection through Troy, though.
Yeah.
At the time.
I feel like even back then, it was just harder. I think for
Oh, my God.
foreigners and different people to get in this
Yeah.
industry.
Oh,
They,
that
like
part.
it was more of like a, they're distributor flow. They
Yeah.
represent Expedition, but they're in France. They're
I mean, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I liked Expedition. Not only did they have two African American dudes on the team, but they had a guy from Switzerland and a guy from
Shani.
France.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is what I'm talking about.
In
Because
Japan, they had Soichiro.
Soichiro Nakajima.
Yeah.
And I love Soichiro.
Yeah.
I think I'm the one that initiated that.
Oh,
him getting
really?
On the team.
Dude, he came in. Dude, he
Oh,
was
my God.
swinging.
Fakey Hill.
Backtail.
Backtail.
On
Man,
the
Third
collar.
Army, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Soich.
That's
Yeah.
a good way actually to market the brand back then. You know what I mean? To kind of have dudes all over the place and kind of,
yeah.
it's a better way to capitalize and
Yeah.
stomp the ground. You know what I mean?
That
I
part.
could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't know if many companies were doing that back then.
No,
It
no.
was really divided between like countries and distributions and
100%.
stuff.
That's
Oh,
a really good point. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up because I don't think I ever actually thought about it like that.
But
Crazy, right?
everyone from those places we just talked about, they all came out to California to do it.
At one point
Yeah.
in time, for sure.
But all their footage, like Stefan Laurent had a part in Transworld in Interface, I believe, and his part in that is banging, and it's all like
wow.
Southern California.
I don't think I've ever seen that part. I need to watch it.
I watched it. I was like, "This,
Wow.
who is this dude?"
What year was
Wow.
Interface? Do we know?
98, 7,
okay.
maybe 97. Yeah.
Did you ever skate with Stefan Laurent?
Later on,
Later on.
I got on. I don't know, 2003. So I was way later. But Carl had already had Organika going.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You had KO had just basically started when I got involved.
You were a young buck.
I was young.
We
Stevie,
were so hyped to have you on.
I couldn't even
Sheesh.
believe that I got on the team. That
This
was
is his part from
Gosh. Look at that
Interface.
style.
There's so much this style and snappy he had. Dude, all this stuff.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's
Man.
I remember I was a big fan.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Damn.
He's good for today's standards. Look at that. Bam.
Damn, he's got
That expedition
pop.
board. I love that board.
The OG,
Oh my God, the
original
big E.
E-board is
It
one
gave
of
me
my,
power, bro.
that
Was he
might
on
be
DC?
the only. He was around the S's back
S's,
then.
okay.
Yeah.
That might be the only thing I would get tattooed on me is the Expedition logo.
Oh, wow.
I think that I'm not even kidding. It's the
Still
only.
to this day?
Yeah, that's my favorite brand
Like a
ever.
That's
big- like a big
amazing,
neck
Kelly.
tat,
I
like a
love
big
that.
E.
Huge
Yeah.
neck. I always want to hit up Troy to be like, dude, let's Fuck, man, let's do something.
She
But-
got punch you in the face for that.
No, but there was a good like.
Nice, dude. I'll still do it.
I love that, bro. Hey, he might be interested. I know things are going good over there, but
So, speaking of going good over there, I mean, Organika was going good with 15 years about.
yeah, we had a great run. I got this tattoo
Okay.
after the 13th year of business,
man.
and you know, like
What happened?
incredible team. I'll be honest.
Go ahead.
Okay, so KO, you know, they made it so easy. It became like a sinecure job where it was just so easy, making good money. I was just in a great position, and I became complacent.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I just became. It was too easy. We had boxes arriving every single month. The checks would arrive every single month. We didn't even really have to do anything, you know, to like.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
Oh.
you were actually co-owner.
Yeah, I was
And
co-owner.
So
yeah.
you basically didn't have to do
No,
much.
everything was in San Diego.
Okay.
The art department. I mean, it came to a certain point where I was just completely hands off, and
Wow.
to my detriment.
Oh, okay.
You know, to my detriment. So becoming complacent is not a good thing. You know, but it was so easy to at the time, and I was so blind to reality that that I thought things would never end. I thought it was always going to remain the same, and it's crazy. So the how it all ended was Troy hit me up, and he was in a sales meeting, right? And I already knew at that point that Organika wasn't doing well, and DGK was pretty much funding Organika at that point. So I'm like, man, like robbing Peter to pay Paul. I knew how much my man was like struggling to like make it all work because, man, he was paying so many skaters good money at that time, like really good money, like many skaters, huge teams. And so it was so much. So when he called me, I had no idea he was in the sales meeting. And he was like, man, what are we going to do? And I was just like kind of not realizing that I was throwing away something good. I was like, man, I just wanted to save. I didn't want Troy to stress anymore.
Right.
So I was like, man, let's just pull the plug. And literally that was so catastrophic to him to hear me just like throwing the towel like that. And then that was it. That was it.
You didn't even try to fight for it or anything.
No, because I wasn't in the right headspace.
You didn't maybe know how to reverse all this.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was very complacent. Right. I mean, like I said, I thought things wouldn't end, and then once the money stopped coming, I was like, oh, and the board stopped coming. I was like, oh, okay. Now I see how I dug my own grave.
Man.
But it wasn't arrogant. It wasn't like I'm going to start my own company. Screw you.
Right.
I had nothing but, and still to this day, nothing but respect for that family, the Morgan family, and like he's done so much for me and so many other skaters. And I mean, there was no bad blood.
Looking back at it now, in hindsight, it's always 50-50, right? But like,
Yes.
do you think that looking back at it, you could have maybe not said pull the plug and try to fight for it and try to figure it out?
100%. I mean, I look back at a lot of things that I've done, around that time, and if I would have just carried myself with more integrity and having more appreciation for the gifts, I would have never thrown it away because I love Organika. Still to this day, I get hit up every single week. Somebody saying, bring it back, show me some kind of photo from a tour or some graphic that they love or whatever it may be. Organika gets brought up often. Every single week.
It's a great company, man.
It was, man.
Is that something that you would entertain if it got brought like in a
Oh,
in the
man.
right situation?
You already know. Definitely.
There's video right now we're playing. It's official. Your part in there.
Yeah.
And I want to say, it was an honor to skate with you and be in this video with you. That was one of the funnest times. We going to Barcelona together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Like you 360 flip.
Okay, Kelly, you already know, Kelly. So I did a tray flip over what my man's talking about. I did a tray flip over a bench off this stage, right?
Yeah.
And you're the one that told me how to do it. You said put your front foot up a little bit higher and be patient with it.
Yeah.
Flip it slower. And that was the biggest tray flip I've ever done.
I was like, damn, Carl's jumping. That was fun, dude. That was a random ass gap too, but yeah, it was right next to that rail that Enrique made.
Yeah. That little rail. It was backside for me.
It was crazy though because
look at Adelmo in the background. He was straight chilling. That was on the freeway, by the way. I don't know. And on one of those attempts, I fell off my board, landed on it, my back, and rolled into the traffic.
No.
And there was cars. There were cars
on this next clip right here.
Yeah, I literally drove down right past this spot today on the way to the airport.
Wait, where was it? Did I miss it already?
Here it comes.
Oh, that
right
one.
There. That's on the way to SFO right there.
Oh, shoot. Crazy.
I always tripped.
And then you helped me
spot.
there too with that one too, Kelly.
The switch flip?
Yeah, you were instrumental in me doing like jumping because you taught me how to like be patient and just wait for it.
Well, I mean that I remember. I think that's when I nollie tray flipped it or something. Or something, I can't remember. I was there when you switched for heel. That was my first trip with you.
Oh yeah, that was Arizona.
Yeah, went out there.
Holy mackerel!
But I always trip.
Oh, let's go back to the. Go ahead.
What do you want to go back to?
Go back to that switch front board pop out. So crazy! I really wish I still had it. But Mark Gonzalez, when that was in the magazine, it was a sequence in the magazine. Switch front board pop out. Man, he cut it out. He did his art, and he mailed it to me.
This one, that right there.
Yes. Mark Gonzalez was impressed by that trick.
Really?
And you know what? I moved. It was a really big move from Oakland to LA, and I lost a lot of stuff. I hired movers, and I don't know what happened, but unfortunately, what Mr. Mark Gonzalez made for me is somewhere out there in the ether.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, what was you invented, I want to say, honestly, you invented so many ledge tricks.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was my focus. I wanted to do what other people weren't doing, but I wanted it to be tasteful. I didn't want to go too far. I wasn't doing, I don't want to offend anybody. I wasn't doing the tray flip, the back nose grind, nollie, 360 inward heel out, or whatever it may be. Like, I'm so picky when it comes to tricks, and it has to be tasteful.
Well, even when it came to something so tech, like the nollie 180 switch front nose grind to forward, that was mind blowing. But then also being so simple to a switch front board pop out.
Yes,
because no one was doing that.
Yes, thank you, Kel.
The first one I ever saw do a switch front feeble. You got a cover slap.
Yeah, you already know. Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but
that's what you're to do.
ASR trade show. It was like a little skate park up there. It was 1999. I did a nollie front board on the little bump to rail. The rail was like that big, like nothing. It was like 6 inches high. Nollie front board. I think I was the first one to do that.
Wow.
But I don't know if I was the first to do switch front feeble. I thought I was, but somebody showed me another guy who did it earlier on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I wasn't the first to do that, but I was the first to get it on the cover.
It's so funny though, because every tricks, even back then, even earlier than that, you don't know. It's like somebody's doing something up in SF or LA or even New York or somewhere. Like, it's so weird how the vibes.
But it's like whoever comes out first
Right.
is like the one, like, oh, he did that first.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you don't really know.
Yeah, that
Right.
part.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about tricks, we
Until
gotta
you know.
talk
until
about the front nose pretzel out there.
That's the one right there.
At the Hubba
Man.
Hideout.
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
So one day we were all at Pier 7. I'm pretty sure it was right after we were rolling dice, doing our thing. We're all kicking it. Sunny day. Talking to Stevie. We were talking about tricks, and he was like, man, what if I did a switch backside tail side to 270 out? And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. And in my head, I'm like, what if I simplified that trick and did a front side nose slide instead of switch back tail and 270 out, since my body's already gonna be like that. So I started throwing it down on the ledge, and I ended up learning it, I think the next day.
At Pier 7?
At Pier 7.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I want to make sure, I love this trick. It's super unique. I want to make sure I do it at a place that's noteworthy. So then I brought it to Hubba Hideout. I tried it with Ty Evans and Anthony Van Engelen one night. We lit it up with generator and lights. And it's a very funny fall that ended up in the Transworld video where I look like a wet cat. I'm like falling all over the place.
Ty put it in there, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if that was a fall, but yeah, that might have been the fall. But it took me a while to get it, man. And then when I got it, I got a sequence and everything. We're stoked. I thought it was going to be an ad, but in the sequence, the board leaves my feet briefly. and it's like one of the frames. So we trashed the sequence. I really wish we had it. I really wish we had it, but I don't think I mean, I'm pretty sure they wanted to use it, but I didn't want to use it because I envisioned doing this trick in a certain way, popping it out, you know, and it was more like.
So you're saying it left your feet when you were coming down?
Coming down. So, and the thing is, I wasn't even hyped on this. I was stoked that I did it, but I wasn't hyped. Like I did it twice that day.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did it twice, and it wasn't what I envisioned, you know.
What, dude? I remember seeing this being like, it was in that Transworld video. And that's why I was like, whoa. It showed
the
that
bail was.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, that's insane. Like, no one's even done that.
For them to put a bail in the Transworld video, like that's, you know what I mean? Like they're probably like, this is an insane trick. We got to just show this.
They
like,
would,
even though
they were doing that at that time.
That front foot didn't really come off. It didn't look like, but
yeah, let's see frame by frame.
Yeah,
see if we had Photoshop back then, you already know.
Deep diving into
we would have fixed that.
But also sometimes with the sequence, they could have taken.
See it right there, bam.
Yeah.
They could have taken another frame, maybe.
And when it's frames like that, it stands out so much.
And it's really not. Yeah, it really did.
It stands out when it's just like.
And I was not having it.
Yeah,
not having it.
So you weren't happy?
I wasn't. I didn't like it.
Really?
At all. Okay. I was surprised that people liked it. Honestly,
who shot it?
Who shot the sequence?
Yeah.
Who's right there?
Good
Chris
question.
Ortiz? No, wait, no.
Yeah, that's a good question, bro.
Because maybe they probably most all photographers like have their stuff like backed up.
Oh my god!
Wait, they're right here.
Yeah, who is that?
Pete Thompson.
Pete Thompson. Yeah.
Pete, where you at,
Pete Thompson.
He's
like, Carl told me to trash it. It's trash.
No. I'm pretty sure he still has the negatives.
Okay. He still
Yeah,
got that.
he still has it. Oh my God! Thank you, Kelly, for bringing that up. Hitting up Pete after this interview.
Yeah. For
So
sure,
now
dude.
looking back, you're like, you like it.
Oh hell yeah! Because that's hard.
Bruh.
Man, I couldn't do that now.
Nobody's doing
The
that.
ledge is high. It's just a very difficult trick.
Nobody
very
is doing
difficult
that,
trick. You know,
Dude.
I saw this one young man. He did a backswing and nose grind, not like a 360 out. I was like, man.
Oh yes, Carter.
Yes, Carter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw him do that. He did it good too.
Really good, man.
Dude, that was sick. It's all inspiration from you.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not like that. I thought you were gonna say it's all inspirational.
Well, it is too.
Yeah.
It is very inspirational.
Well,
You also did Switchback. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well,
No,
I just want
please.
to say I am very inspired by the young generation. I've always been the dude to appreciate the young skaters coming up because when we started skating in the early 90s, the late 80s, we were hated on by the older pros because we were creating a new style of skateboarding. Tommy Guerrero was the very first street style pro skateboarder, right? But we took it to the next level. We started learning tricks, doing these freestyle kind of tricks in the street, whatever. But it was like, I lost my train of thought. But
no, you were inspired by the younger generation.
yes. I was inspired by because we were the younger generation that got hated on because they didn't like.
Well, because you're doing new shit.
We were doing new stuff and we changed skateboarding.
Right.
And I can't even believe skateboarding is the same from back then. Because we saw skateboarding evolve from lawn tramp skating, pool skating, to so many different styles, vert, and then street style skating. We were like the derelicts, and it ended up staying around.
Yeah.
It stuck.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy,
No
actually.
doubt.
How crazy is it? I mean, sitting here just thinking about like you were a part of that.
Oh my gosh.
You were a part of that. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, but we didn't realize that.
No, I mean,
The impact that it would have in where we are today. No, not at all.
You know what I compare it to? It's like when you're in a good situation and you don't realize you're in a good situation. And then like a year later, you're like, man, you look at some photos. You're like, oh, I really liked where I was at that point in my life. That was a great relationship. I loved living at that house. But when you're living in the moment, it's hard to appreciate what you have. And it's hard to see, like when you're creating a new style of skateboarding, it's hard to even understand what you're doing,
Oh yeah.
So man,
Because you're just living.
You're living, yeah.
We're the trendsetters. We're moving.
Yeah.
You're not thinking
You don't
that.
even know
You're
that.
like, I'm just going skating, bro.
Yeah.
Because
Wow,
I'm
you look
skating.
good, bro. Look at my man Jerron's hair. Let me turn around real quick. Wow, the nice curls on
But see,
him.
that's the thing though. It's
I
like,
ain't letting it like flow right now, bro.
but think,
Wow.
let it flow, man. Take
it
off
flow?
that. No,
All
no,
right.
no. But how could you know back then,
Yeah.
right? Because you're just doing your thing. I mean, the videos come out that influences everybody else out there.
Yes.
But then also when you're traveling around, you're just seeing the people that look like you, but you don't know that they've been influenced by you to a certain degree, right?
Right.
Oh man.
Based on the videos and stuff that they've seen or
Yeah.
like whatever. Yeah.
No,
for
exactly. And magazines and
you
stuff.
remember how things were different back then. I mean, you guys have been skating for a long time too. You can probably remember this as well. So before social media, you see a skater from, say, Japan or Germany, and you would be like, oh, they're from a different place. They're actually from, a different country.
Yeah.
And these different areas had their own styles, So it wasn't like meshed how it is now. Like how now you see dudes from Japan, they look like they're from the United States.
Right.
You see dudes from Germany, they look like, just like any other skater. But things were so different back then, and EMB was like the place where everybody would come and visit. It was the mecca of skateboarding.
Yeah, definitely.
And I loved that. I love meeting skaters from all around the world. And it was like, that's what fueled me.
Yeah. They're coming to your spot.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
and
Oh my God.
again, we'd all see like, wow. And for the short duration that I was there, I'm like, there's so many different random people from everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, on any given day, you'd have people from all these like 10 different countries.
Totally. Yeah, and you were so friendly. I remember, bro. You would go up to everybody and just,
Yeah.
just say what's up. Like, where you from? Like, what you doing here? Very curious.
I was like the ambassador.
Yeah.
Of
You were the
skateboarding.
you were the welcome
He's like
committee.
vetting them. Like, all right, that dude over there,
Yeah,
he's from
good,
he's
he's
from
good.
Germany. That dude over there.
Yeah, I love meeting skaters from different countries. Like,
Yeah.
and mainly a lot of skaters from Europe would come there. And crazy story is, I work for Adidas now.
Yeah.
My boss is Yasha Moeller. So back in the day, Pier 7, right? His friend group comes to Pier 7. They come to visit SF, and one of the guys in the group's board shot out into the street and got ran over. He was bummed out. He's on this trip. The next day, I brought a board down, gave it to him. What does he do? He gets stoked. Goes back to Germany, shares this amazing news that, he got a free board from a guy at Pier 7, and then tells Yasha, who's impacted by it. And years later, when I'm vying for the position, he's like, Karl Watson, of course. He gave my friend a skateboard back in the day.
He paid it forward,
You
bro.
got the
Paid
job.
it forward, bro.
I love stories.
Well,
Well,
love that
dude,
too,
it's
bro.
insane.
Wow.
It's like you never know. Like you never know. Like the little kids skating, you don't know who that person's gonna be. Like you got to respect everybody. You really do. Because you just don't know what people are gonna turn out to be,
Damn true.
who they're gonna be.
Right.
Well, you have good eye for the talent, like skateboarding talent. And Miles Silva's coming up. Like, I mean, basically, I would say you and Walker kind of found him.
Sheesh. Well, thank you. Well, it was like it's interesting. The first time I saw him, I was judging a contest in the Valley. So no money. I just drove out there. It was like a 2-hour drive just to be a part of our community. So I was judging a contest, and Miles won his division. It was like 14 to 16 or something like that, and he was only 14, killing it, right? And the thing that struck me is like after the contest, he didn't really want to hang out because he was like, hey, I have to go do something with my family. And I was so impressed that he wasn't like, oh, I got to go hang out with my family. Like he wasn't bummed. He was like happy about it. And I was like, oh, I like this kid. He's different.
Yeah.
He has a strong family structure, and clearly my man had great flick and great style, everything, checked off all the boxes. And then he's also a good, has a good family and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is different for skating. So I, that was the catalyst to me hooking him up.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
And all this is going on too. LRG is at play.
Definitely. LRG. Yeah. I got him on Organika, LRG. Then he got in Lakai and Royal.
Right.
And it's like his career was heading in the right path,
Solidified.
Big time.
What about LRG for you? How did that all transpire?
Oh man, I was at Pier 7 one day and my buddy Zach came up to me. He's like, yeah, my friends are starting a new company and my friend Jonas is interested in putting you on the team. I was like, okay, I'll check them out.
Okay.
So I go down to not LA. I call everything down south LA. It was
Orange County?
Orange County area. And then it was LRG's very first warehouse, and it was Robert, Wright, and Jonas. and it was us three in the warehouse, and it was like, okay, we were talking about what we're gonna do, like, am I gonna get paid or not? Because I had an opportunity to get on Quicksilver for $500 a month, and I turned it down. I turned that down to ride for LRG for no money.
What year was this?
This was 2000, 99, 2000.
Okay.
25 years of coming up this year,
I know,
right? Yeah.
25 years
Yeah.
with LRG.
Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, and they're like, they were like the first streetwear style brand.
Yeah.
Because I remember the very the first shoot I went on with the guys. It was me, Jonas, and the photographer, the Getty's Museum, and I went to go throw up the shaka. I was throwing up the shaka, like, because, whatever. I'm just a goofball. And Jonas was like, oh, no, don't do that. And that's when I realized, like, okay, Jonas really has a clear vision for his brand.
Okay.
He doesn't just want some random hang loose in the ad, random shaka, So
Yeah, he had a vision. He had a vision for his brand.
definitely.
Right.
Yeah, he really did. And look at where it's at now.
Right.
How did you decide to go with LRG? Being a brand new company and having Quicksilver there, what made you want to go to?
Yeah. Did they offer you pay?
No pay then. It was
Okay.
like I liked their designs. I liked the energy that they had. I liked their story. Jonas was adopted, a multi racial family, so he was super open-minded. Robert started designing clothing because he was so large that it was hard for him to buy clothes that fit him correctly. So that's how he got into the cut and sew game. And so I just loved their energy, and I felt it, So I made a few of those moves, throughout my career. The one World, and then Expedition. I passed up the money. There was another one with iPath and Osiris. This is when my man Chris Pastris was working there, and came up to SF. We had dinner at the Indian Oven restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants, and he rolled out this deal that I wish I would have taken because
For Osiris.
wow,
For Osiris,
it was
right?
Osiris
Yeah.
to start an iPath style company.
Whoa.
10 G's a month
How you?
for 4 years, right? I was only getting $1,000 a month from iPath. And I was like, I just can't do it because
Whoa.
these are my homies. Like, these
Didn't
are my
feel right.
homies, and we're building this.
You can make friends with 10,000 other homies right there, though. Come on now.
He did it. Hey, that's real. That's real. But at that
Keep it in the
time,
buck.
I just couldn't do it. And
just didn't feel
I'll
right.
tell you one
Yeah.
thing, Nicole, Elon's mom was not happy with that decision. Man, that could have changed our lives.
How long had you been on iPath at that point?
It was like maybe 2 years.
2
at
years.
that
So you're
point.
already in
so
there.
we were traveling to
boom.
Japan. We have momentum. They're killing it. I love the shoes. I couldn't even, if I would have left and did that, I would have had no respect in the industry.
No, I don't.
I would
believe
literally
that. I don't believe that.
trust me. I wouldn't be here now. If
I don't know
I
about
would have
that.
made them, if I would have done the world thing, I wouldn't be here now too. Because you understand how skating is. If you make the wrong moves,
Right.
I made some bad moves too, but they were never disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like that.
Did they come out with the company? Did Osiris come out with that company
No,
ever?
they never did.
never
I think I was like the guy that they wanted to start the company with. I really wish I would have done it because I handed the actual contract over
Really?
to the owner of iPath, and he bumped me up to three grand a
Okay.
month, right?
Okay.
Oh.
And that was like
that's a nice gesture.
yeah,
Side
very
note.
a 200% raise. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great
For sure.
But then once iPath sold to Timberland, it was like everything. Like, we're gonna be going on tours. You're going on tours in a private jet. Everything is gonna be amazing. Damn. But then it was like something happened where I went above the TM and I complained about something. I forgot who the TM Matt. He's a photographer.
Matt Price?
Matt Price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is it. You can tell me if this was it, Matt. But I went above him and complained about something, and then that was pretty much the end of it. Like, he was very influential, and he changed the team around. They
Really?
took away the Rasta vibe,
No
the
way.
Rasta image.
That was it,
Yeah.
though. That was the brand.
Yeah, I know. And then it was like they had a whole new team, and then we were out. I was like, damn, I really wish I would have done that deal.
Wow.
Now.
I can't
you know?
imagine
In
like
hindsight.
Matt Price doing that. I don't know though, but I'm just saying
Never know.
like,
I don't know, but maybe that's just what I think.
or maybe the higher ups were trying to because
Well, that's
why
the-
would you just change a whole identity of a brand?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
That makes no sense.
So I definitely pondered it a lot, and I was like, okay, how did I influence this decision? And that's what I came up with. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if Matt actually was the catalyst to it, or if it's just like it was just natural progression.
But did
Get rid of the dreads?
You rocked the hell out of the cat shoe.
Man, you already know.
That was like you. If I see skate, if I saw that was a great. I never had a pair, but that was a great looking shoe.
the flick on that shoe with the little ridge around the side. Ooh-wee.
Can we pull the,
Yeah, what was it called?
the cat?
The cat.
The cat. And it was like an old man shoe, right? What are they called again? The
Loafers or
loafers? No,
What, like,
Wallaby.
wallabies.
Oh,
yeah.
The wallabies. So that was the inspiration behind the cat. And Matt Rodriguez, he was the designer of the cat.
Really?
What?
He was the designer of the cat, and then
he was always wearing that thing.
always wearing it. You know, Ripper, man. Matt is
Oh my gosh.
incredible. You kidding me?
Same. He did the same type of truck as Day One, right? Where it was just like metal on metal. You
Oh.
know, like with the
You go like
no
this.
bushing.
Loosest trucks
yeah,
ever.
loosest truck ever.
Yeah, same
Oh,
thing.
man.
I just don't understand how people skate
I
like
don't
that.
either, bro.
Oh, here's that
thing
shoe.
was pretty dope, bro.
Ooh-wee. And this is like down the road when there's like fuzz on the inside. It was nice and
Oh, yeah.
These are like this is like advanced side.
Oh, this is advanced.
But what
Because-
about the stitching on the toe? Did that rip off at all?
It did, but it was still kind of reinforced by other stitching beneath that.
Okay, that's why I always tripped on that shoe.
I mean, when iPath came out in the early 2000s, skateboarding shoes were so high tech that this was like taking a step back.
You simplified everything.
And I cannot believe the industry. We did so well that the industry followed suit.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah.
The shoes are huge. They had all this technology. Air bubbles in the tongue. Flames
So-called
coming out the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, a whole bunch of stuff.
So-called technology.
Yeah, so-called technology.
Did you ever get a pro shoe on there?
I did. I had the first pro shoe. It was called the Panther.
The pants.
And it was I designed it after another Wallaby style shoe with the stitch up the center, and I just wanted.
I
to
remember that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a shoe that would last. I hated the fact that skaters we bust out our laces and then the shoes just be over looking ugly. I wanted a shoe
Real
that
quick.
would look good after you skate in it after a week.
Right.
It was funny. Like all your sponsors for you matched so perfectly. Like you had Organika, LRG, iPath back then.
Oh, man. Satori.
It all just was perfect.
Yeah.
And what I liked LRG too is this, what I still do is that it had like the Rasta vibe, but then it had hip hop and all this. It was such a
yeah.
wide variety to it that made everyone could relate to it. And
Especially early on.
You're
too,
telling
like,
me.
Yeah.
Because it's so crazy you say this because there's a shoe.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But LRG was in all these hip hop magazines. So they're putting skaters in these hip hop magazines.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a group of kids, right, at my middle school that hated me skateboarding. They did not they gave it all to me. White boy this, white boy that. Why do you skateboard? And I literally had to lie to them and say, I stopped skating. But because of LRG, down the road, after we're all graduated out of high school and everything, they see me in these magazines. I saw two of the guys and they're like, "Oh my God, you're famous. You're doing this." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's because I kept skating." And at this point, they probably grew a lot themselves, so they weren't giving me crap for being different.
Yeah.
That's just some
No,
hard
that's-
ass shit.
Yeah.
That was in high school, you said?
That was in middle school.
Middle school.
Middle
Okay,
school.
okay.
And at that middle school, Roosevelt Middle School, that's where I met Lee Smith. I met Lee Smith there. It was at a school dance, and I see this young dude, man, just this heavy set sister is like backing it up on him. I'm like, okay, young man. I was like, I see you, little Lee. Well, he was just so innocent. So then after the dance, I was like, I had to meet this kid. Then I found out he skated, but he didn't have a real board yet. So then I was riding for Think at the time. So I brought a board over to his house. like a real stuff, you know, like Ventures, and I think he had a real board, but he didn't have real trucks or something like that. Okay. So I brought some stuff over to his house, and then the rest is history.
The rest is history,
That's
man.
super dope.
He's a great dude.
He is definitely one of
I love Lee. He's an incredible artist right now.
Oh my
too.
gosh!
Oh,
I told him the other day, I was like, I need to buy a piece, bro. He's
God.
like, tell me what you want, I'll do it. I'm like, wow.
Sheesh. He got it
So
like that.
good.
You know?
Love it.
We got to go back to the LRG stuff too. Give me my money, Chico. Another trick
Oh,
that I like.
man.
The last trick you were the
Oh,
switch
yeah.
front nose.
Oh.
Switch
Switch
front nose, pop
in.
over into the thing.
Oh my God,
the
that was a
family?
pretty crazy part to
Ooh.
it. Actually, yeah, that's probably my second favorite part. Right
Oh,
there.
really?
To that, I worked hard for that trick because it's such an obscure spot. I mean, you transfer into this weird transition with a curb at the bottom. It's not supposed to be skatable. It really isn't. Somehow it worked. Somehow I thought to do this trick and it worked.
This trick is insane. I've never seen anyone do it to this day.
Remember, you were there, right,
I was
Kelly?
there. I was like, "What are you? This I don't know how you're doing this."
Real
Yeah.
quick though, we'll just show this clip and then go back.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it
is-
still makes no
Yeah,
sense.
but there's a
Can you
there's
thank
a
you,
celebration.
God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, God. I love you.
Can you play the audio to that, please? That audio to that right there is so good.
You want to
dude.
hear the funniest thing about the audio is
there
you can hear Jack Curtin cracking up at me.
Yeah, yeah. And Jabari was there too, right?
Jabari was there, yeah.
Oh well, there's music. We can't.
No, it stops when the right when it ends, like right here. Or after, we'll cut it out.
Thank you, God! I love you! Oh! I'm not Thank you!
You hear him cracking up? Thank you. He was cracking up right there.
So happy.
And you know, man, I've never really done that before. Like screamed out to the creator and say thank you. But I was so happy, man. It took a long time to get that trick.
Yeah.
And then this trick, Kelly, I was trying to nose grind Nollie 360 out for hours.
Oh, okay.
And then I didn't get it, you know, sat down, watched somebody else get their trick, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just try this trick. And it's like,
Even harder
seriously,
trick?
one of my favorite tricks I've ever done.
I've tried the
Yeah,
nose
it's a
grind
good one,
360s.
Dude,
bro.
it's hard,
Oof.
man. Who does them really good? Oh, Mark Suchu. We went to a demo, man. He did it in his sleep. He was joking around. I'm like, how did you just do that trick like that?
Thanks, Mark Suchu.
You
But
know?
wait,
Yeah,
what do you mean? You do the nose mail 360 out?
Yeah, but
What's the?
I don't. It's like when it's a nose grind, it just doesn't work.
You can't pivot or like rotate like that. Like
I must
You'd have to
turn a
bonk
little
it.
bit. I must turn about like 15 degrees before I pop it.
Yeah,
so that
okay.
was the issue.
okay.
You almost
know.
have to like bonk it.
Oh yeah,
and go
exactly.
over. If you're holding it and then you try to like
oh
do
bonk
it,
it, I didn't think about bonk.
You know what I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a bonker.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
I should have
Not a
I'm not a bonker.
I should have bonked it.
I'm not a bonker.
If I would have
hold on to
bonked it, I
mine.
would have done it. That's
Yeah?
funny you say that.
Okay.
That was in Australia.
I remember that trip.
That was in Daly City. That was in San Jose.
San Jose.
You know what I'm
World
saying?
travel.
I didn't. Yeah.
Man.
this trick. I don't even understand what you were thinking. Nollie knows.
Sheesh.
Yeah, man. You guys.
Hong
had-
Kong.
I love that you guys.
I haven't seen this in so long.
because LRG kind of like went away for a little bit, right? And you guys you guys just brought the team back and got the
Yeah.
band back together recently.
Like I left LRG 2013 to focus on Organika clothing.
okay.
And then, you know, everything was going good. And I'm pretty sure another video came out. 1947 came out.
Yeah.
Incredible video. And yeah, just everything changed at that point.
Yeah.
How
Well,
did-
Jonas passing away
Yeah.
early on was horrible, and I feel like when that happened is kind of when things started to change.
Yeah. Usually, yeah, once like the leader passes away,
yeah.
like everything kind of crumbles at the company, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, they went down a different path. They started, you know, hooking up skaters that didn't really fit the vibe. And then they stopped all that, and then they came back about 3 years ago. My man Kevin Delaney was back under. That was Jonas's right hand man, so he's doing the marketing. I'm like, Kevin, you're back. I'm back. Then. And then it was it. It was like, okay, well, who do you want to bring on? And you know, we only had room for a couple people, so we picked Kelly Hart, Chico Bernes, And then, now it's time to build upon that foundation.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Get the new guns out there.
But
I
that
like
was
it, man. I
important
like
for
it.
me when you called me and brought this up. I was like, oh, Kevin's there and you're
Oh,
there. I'm
bro.
like, okay, because Kevin knows the whole legacy and the blood of the brand.
Absolutely.
So everything you're
Right.
seeing now is totally makes sense. And I think
Oh,
for a
man.
while when whoever was running it before didn't understand that, right?
It's just owned by a corporation.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anybody that understood the ethos of LRG like Kevin
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Like, this is why LRG's doing well now.
So
Because
Kevin came back as well.
Kevin
So
came
he-
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's super
yeah.
rad.
Killing
That's
it.
Rad. I love
Kevin's a
that.
good dude.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, I said Kevin's a good dude overall.
I don't know if you guys saw what we recently did, where that one dude, Derek, I ain't fresh.
Dude, this is went viral.
So it went super viral. I didn't know until after we started hooking the guy up. So apparently, this guy. Do you guys know the story?
I have no idea.
This one dude, he was wearing a fit, lives in Texas, and he was filming himself, and some girls walked by and said, "You ain't fresh." And then he whatever, that kind of went viral.
Okay.
And people were like, trying to like encourage him, saying like, "Yeah, you are fresh." Then he made another post with a dope outfit on, like hunter green shirt, hunter green pants, like some New Balances. The shirt was LRG. And then so that got a lot of traction. That went viral. And so then LRG was like, let's do something with them. They literally, the next, like 2 days after, they flew out to Texas, took this guy on a shopping spree for $1,000, gave him $2,500 cash. And then the day after that, they flew him to New Orleans to meet some basketball game, and he met all the stars. He's on, courtside and everything. I'm like, this guy, his life was changed. I mean, I'm so thankful that my man Kevin and and this LRG is open to doing that. And the crazy thing is, like, the director of marketing, I believe that's he works for New Balance. I think he's the director of marketing, but he got very salty at LRG for coming out with this, coming up with the plan before he was able to execute his plan that he came up with for Derek.
Really?
Oh.
Look at my man Derek. There he is.
You gotta kind of go off of these moments though.
And
Like,
he's a solid guy. Yeah.
is he? Yeah.
That's the
Truck
There's
driver.
the Capri Sun. Who was the dude who was skating and he drank the
The ocean spray?
ocean spray
Yeah.
guy, right?
Oh, that
thing went
dude is
nuts.
hella cool.
Right, man.
Damn.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So yeah, kind of segued off. To
No, you're
something
good.
else.
You're good. I mean, it's all
Went off on a
encompassing
tangent.
the LRG.
it's all
The
relative.
new movement.
Yeah,
awesome.
The new
Yeah.
movement.
25 years though.
Wow,
And hey, expect a lot more coming up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, good
Dude, the
things are
collabs-
happening.
The
Well, it looks
collabs
like you're
there,
wearing a
man?
I
collab
got
right now.
The Maxallure skateboards, the LRG collaboration. Check it out.
Oh, he's standing. Oh,
Oh.
okay. Look, they got a giraffe on there. Oh, I'm gonna need a box.
What's the giraffe sound? I was gonna go yee.
I think that's a horse or something. Yeah.
Man, I think they do a little click or something,
Do they?
right? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna need a little box. I think that's a
I
nice
got
little fresh
you,
sweater
brother.
right
Yes,
there,
sir.
right
You look
there.
really nice in it.
Hey, so tell us. We touched on it a little bit before the Maxallure stuff.
Yes.
How did that get going? Did you started that with
That's
Nick Lockman?
So interesting.
Yeah.
So the story's crazy.
Okay.
Because Nick is the person that introduced me to skateboarding, the world of skateboarding.
Right.
So the four owners, right? It's me, Nick Lockman, Little Dre, and Tafari. And there's two other silent owners too.
Okay.
But so I gave Tafari his first skateboard when he was about 3 years old. And then he, I didn't see him for a while. I knew his mom and his grandfather. And then Tafari ended up living next to Dre. And then Dre saw Tafari skating when he was a little bit older. Then Dre wanted a board. And so, and then, his father hit up Tafari. It's like, hey, can you get my son a board? And that's how Dre started skating. And then Jonathan Perez, I was living in Richmond at the time. And I left the house. I was going to pick up my son from school. I see these two young men at the bus stop with these boards that weren't real skateboards. You need the real skateboards to do the real tricks. But they weren't real boards. So I circled around, got some Organika boards. I was like, I hope the bus didn't come because I really want to hook these young men up. And then I came back. He was only 12 at the time. Gave him both skateboards, and that like stoked him out, you know. Then I started showing him the ropes. So it's truly like a family affair.
Wow.
You know, it really is, because Nick introduced me to the world of skateboarding. I introduced Tafari. Of course, he found it elsewhere too, but it was the initial
Sure.
gift of a skateboard. And then Little Dre discovered skateboarding because of Tafari.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
damn.
It's like all those beginning experiences like brought you guys together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
and
beautiful.
So that's Maxallure is like a family, you know. And you got Marcello out there in New York who
Yeah,
designs our graphics, killing
Oh,
it.
really?
He's not only an incredible skater. He's on New Balance and Ripper. He also designs our graphics.
Oh, that's dope.
I did not. That's awesome. I
Not
didn't
all
know
of
that.
them, but about 90% of them.
So what was the starting point for this company? Because again, it's you and Nick Lockman, right? So how was it? Initial conversation with you guys? Like,
That's a good question.
he was over at DGK.
Well, he had left DGK. I don't know what happened. He might have gotten fired.
Okay.
And then it was just like, yeah, we talked about some things. It was a necessity. I knew Jonathan and Dre didn't have board sponsors, and Tafari didn't have board sponsor. And I was like, man, these guys are incredible. And I was already working for Adidas. And so I was like, man, they need something. So that's when I reached out to my buddy Eric Fan. And then we came up with this plan to create a company and to support young, creative skaters
Yeah.
who are doing it, who have a vision.
I love that.
Shout out to Eric
So-
Pham.
Hey, Eric Fan, thank you, my bro. And
How did the name come about?
well, that's a funny one. So it was like 2016 Tampa Am. I was sitting there, you know, watching all the dudes and gals kill it, and I was like, man, skateboarding's so alluring. It's just so alluring. It's so attractive, and it brought me back to the times we were in China and, you know, trying to trick, and you just have like a whole crowd of people watching us, and they don't know what's going on, but they were attracted to what we're doing because skateboarding's alluring. So I was like, okay, allure, it doesn't really work. It's too soft. It just made it feel like Organika, you know, allure, Organika. Like, you know, even though I love both names, but I was like, it has to be more
Sounds
masculine.
like a fragrance company or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So I was like, I have to make it more masculine. So that's when I put the maximum allure, max
Okay.
allure. And now it's MXA, you know.
Right.
Like, so that's how the name came
There
about.
you go.
Yeah.
Just,
Wow. And you've been doing it for how long now?
So since like 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
dude.
and we have the guys are going on a tour to Switzerland
Ooh.
this month.
damn.
So big deal, you know. Keep your eyes out for that. Maybe it'll be an article in Thrasher or a video. Who knows?
Right,
you know.
right,
But
right.
they're staying out there for a while, like for I think 2 or 3 weeks, and pretty much got the main guys on the team going out there. They're going to be staying with our rider Janos, who's out in Switzerland, and my man Babaj is going to be filming, and just really good skaters, great community out there.
Amazing.
I never been, but I mess with them hard.
It's great, dude.
Hey,
Switzerland.
I need to make it out there, bro.
Team manager, go on. What are you doing?
Oh man, I got too many things going on here.
okay.
But
dude, how many people? I mean, you're a team manager for Adidas as well. How, you talk to so many people every day.
well, Adidas keeps me busy. Literally, I'll get through all my emails. The night before, the next morning I wake up and people need their shoes. They need it's like a necessity because we go through these things. So
Oh, yeah.
then I'm just like going through the motions.
So you're
And I love
running
it.
Maxallure as well?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure all the owners.
I
are,
have
right?
help, yeah.
You play a part.
Yeah, I play a
It's a
part.
team.
From what you learned throughout the years of like dealing with these companies and being company owner with Organika and stuff like that,
Yes.
I'm sure you've learned a lot. And you were saying you were complacent with Organika, so maybe that was that's a
so
very
interesting.
learning experience. Now
Well,
running another company.
That's funny you say that because there was some beauty to the complacency because Troy didn't put pressure on us, so he let us be creative. We didn't, and so I pretty much do the same thing with Maxallure. It's like this is a foundation, and then you guys can build upon the foundation. It's up to you, and that's I don't ever put pressure on the guys and gals on Maxallure.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, at the end of the day, they should be skateboarders.
Hey,
they should
well,
focus
that
on
part-
their craft.
And that's what they all do. You know.
You got a great team.
Thank you.
Good squad.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And oh my God. So we were doing the 9 Club experience back then, right? And you were there, you were turning your guys pro. Remember this?
God.
You dropped all the boards.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yes.
And we're live watching you. Like we got the screens going. I think maybe you had a drink or two. I don't know, but I can't
God.
confirm or deny. But and they were sitting outside, and you dropped all their boards. It just made this huge racket.
Oh, I bet. And it was supposed to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Here I am bringing them their boards, and I dropped them.
Bro.
Luckily, they didn't hear them because they were kind of far away. But that was a very special night.
But thank you for letting us be a part of that too, because
Yeah.
it was amazing to
kidding
sit
me?
there and watch these young kids just get their first board. Like you can see the excitement and joy.
Totally.
You know, it's amazing.
Well,
I was
you guys
bummed for
made it
myself,
happen.
but I was happy for them.
John has never gotten a surprise party
Oh,
for
man.
turning pro.
No, that's
They just said, "Here you go, you're pro." Did you get a surprise?
You've been pro. Never had a
Yeah.
surprise. You've been pro though, man.
That's one of those.
my man Jerron though, back in the day, you've always been buff, right? No, I'm serious. We were little kids, and this young man would take his shirt off, and he just have all these muscles. They're like, how in the hell did you become this little He-Man of a kid? Man, you remember those days?
I do,
Bro.
I do.
Dude, that line in
That
Mouse,
was funny,
that
bro.
line in Mouse, where you have your shirt off the back nose grand revert and switch crook. I was like, dude, you land
dude.
like
That
that.
was,
I'm like,
all natural, bro. All natural.
And you're always so humble about it, like everything. You've never really had an ego like it was with your skating. Like
I don't think I would have been appropriate to do so.
no,
you know?
no.
Nah.
I'm buff.
No, I think overall, like it's.
I'm buff.
Oh,
Nah, I mean, look, I was very grateful, to be in that position. So I don't think I would. Yeah, I didn't want to. Lose myself. In that
Definitely
sense,
not.
what
I'm
saying?
impressed.
Yeah. I think, a lot of us were in those positions. So I think, those that are still around today never lost themselves.
Oh,
Straight up.
you
know
mean
what
the
I mean?
skaters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about because of your physique.
Oh, psh.
Okay.
Well, no.
Well, that leads me to another topic. I'm sure we all know people that were really popular in high school and that they really they embodied that high school persona because they were popular. They never evolved. Have you guys, do you remember
some of
people
those
like
dudes.
that?
Yeah,
How they
sure.
stayed in that old mentality and they never moved past their popularity that they experienced in high school.
So early,
that person
yeah.
that they were.
Yeah.
True.
So, yeah. I don't know why I wanted to bring it there. But.
Do you ever? No.
That's happened, though. Real talk.
Well, congrats on the whole Maxallure thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love it.
Appreciate
dude.
it. Yeah, thanks for being a part
We've
of
been
turning
pro.
Jonathan and Dre pro. It wouldn't have happened without you guys in the way it did because it was COVID time.
It was.
And it was insane. We were trying to work things out. Thank goodness for my man Walker for coming up with the idea and reaching out to you guys and setting it all up.
Dude, it was great.
Super cool.
Yeah,
bro.
but thanks for letting us be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Too. That was incredible. When you're do you go to any of the old spots up in SF? Do you go
Man.
to like the the
Pier 7
Pier
still
7,
there.
Third and Army,
Yeah.
the manual pad that we were talking about.
Well,
the,
that's funny you say that, Fort Mason. I went to Fort Mason the other day. I love that spot.
It's still there.
Pier 7, yes, still there. Pier 7 is still skatable. Skated there recently for that little collaboration that Palace did,
Oh yeah,
That
what
was
the
such
hell?
a
You
good-
did with Gap?
Sheesh,
So
that was
sick.
gnarly. Yeah,
I saw you on the bill or on the side of the Gap
Sheesh.
store.
Yeah.
They
I
just
was
reached
so
out randomly
surprised.
for that campaign?
Well, yeah, the Palace guys reached out to me.
So dope.
I mean, it was, they're the catalyst behind bringing in some of the OGs like me, Tommy, and Alyssa. Once I heard that they were involved, I was in, you know.
all day.
And the whole reasoning behind the collaboration in the first place, those guys are awesome, by the way, at Palace. I
They
really
really
mess
are.
with those guys.
Definitely.
And they're we were inspired by the skating from Pier 7 around this time frame in the 2000s. And what did you guys wear? Gap stuff.
Definitely.
You know?
True.
So I was like, okay, I guess, yeah, 90s, 2000, we did love our Gap.
In that sales rack all day.
Oh, all day.
Bro, you find $5 pair of pants, bro.
White shirts.
Yeah, we snatched that up all
Sheesh.
day.
I had the honor of being taken on a shopping spree at the Gap with you already know who. You know who. Rocco, welcome back. See Rocco, welcome back, bro. Oh man.
Crazy.
You're gonna bring some life back into skateboarding, bro. We missed you, man.
Man.
We missed you. He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was amazing. I remember one time he would always have these contests for us, right? He brought a box of oranges to the skate park. He's like, the first person who hits the billboard with the orange gets $100. Day one, of course. He is the first one to get
He's
it.
the first one.
The only contest or thing that I won was we were at Santa Monica at the beach, and he wanted these young ladies to come to dinner with us. He's like, hey, Carl, go talk to those ladies and see if they'll come out to dinner with us. And if they come, I'll give you $100. And it worked out.
You got the hundo.
I led with that. I was like, if you guys say yes, I get $100. And so please,
Straightforward.
but I was like, kind of like, acting like I was like, gamming him up. But I was like,
That's
no,
straight out of a movie,
please.
bro.
This guy's very rich. He'll treat us very well. You'll be happy. So
Like, okay.
you'll get a good dinner at least. They came.
Yes.
Wow.
Dude, I can't believe that manual spot is still there, though. Is it still there?
Fort Mason's
How
still
come
there.
all the times I've been to San Francisco, how come I've never been to that spot?
Man, you would tear that
good
spot
man.
up.
It just looks fun.
Yeah. It's kind of like chalky though.
is
If you like scratch your nose on a nose man, you're definitely falling.
gone.
Yeah. It's a little chalky and it's a little low,
Yeah, but still,
It's
I mean,
low
this is
for
a
us,
legendary
Yeah.
spot though for me. Carol skating it.
Oh, yeah.
Henry, like all you guys, man. Like,
Jovantae.
Jovantae. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's so interesting you say that. So that brings me back talking about Fort Mason and Jovantae. Those two entities, right? Brings me back to a memory when I was very young. FTC, when it was on Bush Street, when it was a little skate shop in the corner of the golf store, whatever other sport that it sold, I didn't care. I went straight to the skate shop part. So back in the day, I mean, it's still like this. Like pros will go to the shop and set up a new board, and they leave their old boards, and so I was poor, at the time. Like, so I had to get used boards, right? And that was my thing. It was a blessing to receive a used board. And so I went to FTC that day, and Jovantae had just got done setting up a skateboard, right? And he left his old Powell Peralta board. It was so beautiful, still in good condition. I set that thing up. I was so stoked. Skated down to Fort Mason because it was just like really, really close. Jovantae was there with his homies. We were good. Everything going good. I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. But my man Jovantae, when he saw that I was rocking his old board, man, he did not like it.
Why?
He was pissed. I don't know what it was. It may be because you know how we have connections with our boards, especially back then. I would sleep with my board. Like maybe he didn't really like me either.
Did you buy it from FTC?
No,
You just get
it was an old board.
Yeah, but he left it behind.
He left it behind. But when he saw that I had the board, yeah, right on the pad, I'll never forget this. My man picked the board up, took it from me, picked it up, and bam, dropped it on the nose, exploded it. I'm just like,
No.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, I love this guy. I loved him. I still love him.
Yeah.
I still mess with them. Like we're homies. But that was a pretty impactful moment, especially being another person of color in skateboarding. There were so very few of us. For him to not like me and for him to destroy my skateboard, that was his old skateboard. It was so impactful.
I would have changed my whole perception,
Bro.
instantly. Like, psh, all right, I see you, big
you
dog.
already know.
Yeah.
I just kind of just let him do his thing because Jovantae was all powerful. Okay, Jovantae, by the time he was 19, he already owned 50 cars. 50 different cars. He was the he was the man in SF. Like, everybody knew Jovantae, okay? So there was no, hating him. I had to, kind of understand where he might have been coming from.
Did you ever talk to him about that?
Never talked to him about it. He might not even
There ain't
remember.
no
it.
understanding that. I'm just sorry. There ain't no understanding, especially when we're in the pinnacle of where we are in skating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those type of things that happen to you. I mean, gladly it made you stronger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I could have just been like, damn, one of my little heroes just fucked me up right now. Fuck the game up.
And that was Powell.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
think it made me stronger. It just made me be more careful.
Right.
But you had no inkling that
no bad
you just got a
intention, you just
board.
set up a board.
Yeah.
That was your first time seeing him?
No, I had seen him around, but he didn't like me though already.
Oh.
For what?
Because I was just an annoying little kid, and he was just refined. He was He had the fits on point. Everything about the man was just excellent.
Right.
Like he literally had so much swag still to this day. So he was untouchable. So when he did that, it was just like, fuck, like that sucks, you know, like I was hurt, definitely probably cried, you know, but you know, I had a good friend group and they reassured me,
There you
know,
go.
that, hey, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Go get another used board.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I did.
Another thing that we got to talk about too. We got two of them sitting right behind you, bro. My First Skateboard by Karl Watson, and then the
Yes,
second
dude.
book, My First Skateboard, Jonas Meets Jack.
Yes, sir.
Tell us the journey of this.
Oh my God. A wonderful story. Okay.
Yeah.
So my first skateboard came about after Organika ended. So after Organika ended, I wasn't getting any income and I was like, I got to work. So I started designing closets in rich people's homes. I worked for some horrible company where I would go into these nice houses and pimp out their closets and design it. I loved that. I loved it. It was so much fun doing that. But it was one night I was sitting there in my bed and I was like, man, skateboarding is going to be in the Olympics. This is like 2016. I was like, skateboarding is going to be in the Olympics. I want to make sure that all of the attributes that I've acquired from skateboarding remains. And I was like, the only way to do that is to put it into story form so we can share it with the next generation so they understand that skateboarding has the ability to break down the size barrier, the race barrier, the age barrier, the language barrier, so many barriers. You know, it's a tool to bring people together. And I just wanted to create a piece that embodied all of those attributes. And that's how my first skateboard came about.
And did you just, because it's illustrated by Henry Jones,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Oh, my
did
God.
you have this? How'd the process go?
Oh my God, bro. Good question.
You writing it? He's drawing it, or what? How did
How
this
do you
happen?
start
Yeah.
writing
So
a book like
funny
that?
you say that. I'm glad you're even asking because I wrote a screenplay. The story was completely different than this story.
Ah.
Right? I wrote a screenplay depicting this story about my first skateboard. And then I gave it to him. 6 months passes. He's like, man, Karl, there's too much dialogue. I can't illustrate this.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And so I had somebody help me, simplify it. And then this is where it is now.
It was supposed to be still a children's screenplay.
No, still, I had to take it from a screenplay, simplify it
Which
big
was
time.
was it a children's screenplay?
Well, it was
or
just-
a story.
Just a story, yeah.
Okay.
Like my version of writing a screenplay. It was what's that, quasi screenplay,
Yeah.
So it was, I read the book, Screenplay Writing for Dummies, and that's how I got my knowledge.
You got your
So,
Cliff notes.
but yeah, it was incredible because we were so wet behind the ears when it came to this that like I had to do all the Photoshop work. I did so many hours, like seriously, I would have to say like hundreds of hours of screen time on Photoshop.
Yeah.
Because like we didn't know what we were doing. I had to put that book together myself, all the bleed lines. I learned everything, had to put all the text in there, which he wrote by hand, had to move letters around, had to switch this letter out for that one. It was a lot.
How are you
of
doing this?
work.
Like my make a book for dummies? Like
No,
how?
it was like
you said the other book.
YouTube.
You just watched
I was just watching tutorials.
And did you have somebody to publish it?
No, that's another crazy thing is like I had the story. I knew I had something good. This is before we simplified it. So I was shopping it around to different publishers in the area. Nobody saw the vision, but I was like, I know I got something good here. And so I went ahead and just put the money up and self-published it. And Henry and I, we were at a fork in the road. We were like, should we make the kids should we have them wear a helmet or not? And I was like, man, Tony Hawk, our legend, the god of skateboarding, he would put a helmet on the kids. So I was like, we got to do that.
Okay.
And I was like, but guess what? The core of skateboarding is not going to mess with the book. I was like, it's a sacrifice. And to my surprise, the core of skateboarding loved the book, regardless of the kids having helmets or not. So I was really happy about that.
I mean, Karl Watson.
Big deal.
Yeah, that was
Wrote
a
the book.
Hey, but look, my name's not that strong now for them to be
on,
like,
bro.
you know, like
people want to support you, bro. I bought one of those things as soon as it came out.
dude, I remember, Jerron.
Yeah,
I saw everybody's name pop up, man.
That's crazy.
All these pros. I'm like, man, the support is real. The love is real. It was literally my best trick.
I mean, that
Putting out my first skateboard.
that
So
must
good.
have been
You know?
scary, though.
Oh,
Like, you're self-publishing. How
dude.
many books do you have to buy?
Dude, we start off with like 3,000 books.
Oh my god.
3,000 books.
3,000
Are they
books.
getting delivered to your house? You got them in your
It was
living room?
delivered to the house, and we had like 2 crates in the garage
Wow.
full of books.
Was it scary? Where you're like, dude, how am I going to sell all these?
Well, luckily we did pre-order, so I knew that there was some kind of popularity. I mean, people were into the book,
Okay.
so we were like, okay, let's do this. And I was like, maybe that's just gonna be it. Like, we'll hustle to sell through these, and it sold out pretty
Sold
fast,
out?
and
That's
people
sick, bro.
really loved it. We kept ordering more, and now we're at a place where we are gonna be working on a third book, and also we're coming out with like mini completes for kids. We're starting from age 1 and up. And the whole issue with the skateboards for me back in the day with my kids, I didn't want them being on the board when they're too young because the grip tape was going to scratch their little cute soft knees. So came up with a solution. We're like, all right, we have to like make it so the grip tape is non-abrasive. So we're coming out with mini completes for the littles, you know, ages 1 to 5. Get them started early, you know, introduce them to the world of skateboarding, you know, share the gift of skateboarding. We're going to have cork grip tape so they don't hurt their little soft knees.
Right.
Love it. I was about to say, is it going to be like a rubber type of deal? But cork is perfect.
Yeah, cork is,
it's perfect.
right up our alley.
Got
Yeah.
the website.
And
And,
then-
you made a book in Spanish.
Yeah, hey, Espanol, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Como
right.
te ama?
Now, did you do that out of necessity? Were people asking for that? Or
No.
How did that?
It was just like we wanted to expand,
Okay.
you know? So, yeah, we kind of a crazy story. We did make my first skateboard in French, too.
Oh, you did?
And, you know, when you're doing this, you're working with the printer. A lot of files are going back and forth, you know, some revisions. Ended up sending them the wrong files, and it was like a few misspelled words in French.
Okay.
We made 500 units, and we're like, it's a children's book. We can't have any misspelled words.
No.
So we had to trash those books.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Man.
And then you made Jonas Meets Jack.
So Jonas Meets Jack, that's our most recent book. And so this book, it differs from My First Skateboard because My First Skateboard has all of the attributes that I feel skateboarding has to offer. Not all of them, but you know, as many as I can put in there. And then we elaborated on one of the attributes when it came for Jonas Meets Jack, and that is meeting people from around the world and becoming friends with them.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of my upbringing, and that's what this story is all about. You know,
right.
Jack comes from a different country. She's you know, she comes to EMB first time, and Jonas sees her from afar and flags her down, and they meet each other. Literally the stuff I used to do. They go to Brown Marble. They go to Black Rock. They see Keith Huffnagel getting a photo on Black Rock in here.
No way.
You know, it's just
That's rad,
it's
man.
just more of like a skater's book. Like this is like, you know, not for your average person. You know,
Right.
even though they can appreciate it. But My First Skateboard is it's an educational tool for young would-be skaters, novices, and also for their parents.
Right.
So
I mean, it's literally based on a true story.
it's based on a true story. You know, I never met anybody from Kazakhstan at that age, but I did meet people from all around the world.
Right.
And I just picked Kazakhstan because that was the most neutral country, and it's the country where apples come from, apparently, and I love apples. So.
Wow. Really? Learn something new every day.
I
But
feel
that-
like there would be 40s though instead of the water.
Oh
But
man.
this is kids. This is kids, though.
You got to make it kid friendly, Kelly.
I'm kidding.
You already know, Kelly. You already know, bro.
kidding.
That's later on when Jack and Jonas grow up.
I'm a pro skateboarder now.
That's
Just drinking beer all day, and you know, yeah.
But listen, go check it out. I love it. My
Thank
first
you.
skateboard.
So rad.
And this is a new website that we just put out a couple of days ago. So.
Okay. Yeah. If anybody out there's interested, my first skateboard, go check it out. My first skateboard, thebook.com is
Matter
the
of fact, go
website.
there right now and
Yeah.
just go buy a book.
Don't worry, we'll wait.
Aw.
Real
Don't
Come
worry,
on,
we'll wait.
guys.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are big supporters, okay? You've had my book here for like 5 years.
Yep.
I don't
as they come
know.
out.
I'm just so honored. I can't even believe it because you guys deserve some money.
Oh, you brought some money for us?
Yeah, I got some money. For you.
Yeah, break out that little checkbook. You know what I'm saying?
I got here my book. That's
good. He's
You know what I'm saying?
He's got
$2.
Oh, he's got a
$2
$2
bill?
My
bill.
lucky $2 bill.
Ooh. Is that your lucky $2 bill?
Goes to
that stays in the wallet.
the nightclub.
We got it. We're gonna donate that.
Hey, Chris looks all. He's like, I don't want that thing. Look at.
We're gonna donate that.
I know. Keep that.
We're gonna donate that right. In the words of Chico Brennan, you keep that. You
Hey,
keep that.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep it.
That's amazing,
Yeah,
though,
me
bro.
too.
But honestly,
congrats.
maybe we can do a 9-club edition.
That'd be amazing.
That would be
We
awesome.
can do something
That'd be
like that.
amazing.
Let's
You know,
join
you
forces.
know
That's
that
really dope.
you got our support 100,000%.
dang, dude.
You know.
You don't understand. Be watching an episode and be like, "Oh my god, the book's there again!"
It's
like
there.
sometimes it's you know you guys replace it with something else.
Well, we
but then it
switch
comes
things
back.
out all the
revolving
time.
door.
It's a
Yeah.
revolving, it's a revolving
So
set.
Thankful,
There you
You
go.
know.
Yeah. So appreciative that you guys are sharing the gift of skateboarding with your podcast and also promoting my book, which shares the gift of skateboarding too.
I love it, man. I love it.
Full circle stokage.
Yes.
Carl, when can we expect the animated series?
Ooh.
Wow, you're instrumental in that because you introduced me to Joe. And so now we're finally at a place where it's come a long way, Roger. Like we finally got a legit writer, which we needed. And this guy, he has connections. You know, he has a show on Adult Swim, animated show on Nickelodeon. And so he is the real deal. He's a skater that understands our culture, but he also understands that world of, you know, being a writer for major companies, you know. So
Wow.
yeah, we actually
sick.
it's in the works and it takes a while, so be patient.
Okay.
Is this a spin-off of My First Skateboard or something completely new?
So it's a spin-off of My First Skateboard.
Okay.
However, it's kind of evolved, you know, over the course of like 3-4 years of us talking about this. And so we're at a good place now where we have a story, you know, that incorporates skateboarding, but it's not the crux of the story.
That's cool.
So we were just going for, you know, skate. But what we learned is that it's hard for people to relate that don't skate. So we have to like kind of make it, you know, entertaining for all.
Yeah.
And then also, but skateboarding is the foundation.
Well, because I would always, this is after my generation or it's for the younger ones. They would always say that like, oh yeah, rocket power. I found out skateboarding through rocket power. I had
Literally
no
gonna
idea.
say that. That's so
'Cause-
funny. Rocket power.
So, but like,
Wow.
I thought that was kind of the same thing, right? Where it was like it was implemented into this cartoon a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was our motivation behind it.
Okay.
You know,
Oh.
the rocket power.
Wow.
Because we want to influence the next generations to become skateboarders. You know, but we have to inspire them in the right way. You know, we can't just force feed them skateboarding. They have to see something and it has to, hit a switch in their mind. Like,
Yeah.
I want to try that. And I guess this is the way.
Cool.
You know.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you.
man. Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
Bro.
Yeah.
I love
Appreciate
it.
it.
I
So
love
essentially,
it.
you're making like a reel to kind of to present to, you know,
Yeah, we're actually
Somebody-
going to be working on the pilot.
Okay.
pilot.
Yeah,
pilot.
writing the pilot now. So kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll see if it happens.
Super cool.
I hope
man.
so.
Well, you know what's a big deal, man? You being here with us and sharing all these stories, dude. So hyped, man.
I
I've been a
love you
big
guys.
fan forever,
Bro.
dude.
Same.
Like,
Dude.
seriously, man.
Same.
Like, you've
Thank
shaped a
you.
lot of people skateboarding, bro.
Thank you.
Let's
No
put it
doubt.
that way.
I'm just so honored to have the ability to like be able to hook people up and be able to facilitate being a part of their careers.
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
It
No, it does.
make a
They're
lot of
growth.
sense.
You're a
Okay.
team manager. You're helping
Yeah,
these
man.
kids
Yeah.
understand
Big time.
how to go through this process.
Well,
Yeah,
not only that
and
is
it's
you
like-
own companies that help people
Sheesh.
progress.
Yes.
And you work for
Thank
one
you.
of the biggest companies in the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Adidas. Adidas.
By the way, I need a
Maxallure.
box. I need a box of that too.
Oh, I got you, man. Hey, the contract's in the mail.
Oh, hey.
You know, let's make this happen. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Kelly, let's get him some nightclub stuff. Hey, that Maxallure shirt looks good on you, but like I think you need some 9 Club gear too.
These business, baby.
Okay, ooh, those are nice.
Color is that new?
Man,
It's
business.
an oldie but
It's an
goodie,
oldie
you
but-
know.
Bro, his-
Oldie but goodie.
His shoes been on.
Business.
His
We
shoes
love
been
you.
Wait, can you
Oh
help?
my God.
Can you help
Legend.
us get him on the show?
Oh wow, he would do so well on here.
Let's
I
brainstorm
love
some
Dennis.
people.
He is so incredible. He's such an incredible human.
Man,
Literally, like he's different, man.
I love that.
Yeah, his whole perspective. He's very intelligent. Like he'll come on here and kill it.
I
would-
would
oh my
only
God.
imagine.
Like,
His skateboarding
sure.
is incredible.
Oh my
dude.
God. Like
I remember the first time I seen him, I was like,
push-
"Who is this dude? This guy's some next level." Yeah.
and he's like still killing it, Kelly. Like he's back.
yeah.
He had an injury for a while. I forgot something with his Achilles, I think.
Ooh.
Okay,
It was
bad.
when it
I've
hurt
had
when he
that.
pushed, but now he's back.
I saw him out in some trip with you guys, and he just sweats like a beast. So
Oh,
it's
and he
just like-
pushes too,
Yeah, yeah.
so he needs that Achilles.
Hey,
Yeah.
he sweats hard, he pushes hard, you know, and he skates harder than everybody at the session.
damn.
And then once he's done, his clothes are soaked, and he sits there and chills harder than anybody. He will sit there literally in his boxers, and he'll put his clothes out on the ground to dry off in the sun.
Right.
Like it's like a person laying there on the ground with no body. You know, he's just incredible. He
And
brings a change of clothes. To
His
every
shoes
session.
been in the line forever
minute.
too, man. It's one
Forever.
of those
Yeah.
staples for the Adidas skate.
It really is, yeah. Thank you, Business, for designing an incredible shoe that has stood the test of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kelly, will you
Yeah.
do the honors, bro? Will you get Karl Watson some 9 Club stuff?
What size hoodies?
Oh,
or
man.
t-shirts.
I would have to say XL.
XL?
Yeah, I
Okay.
want it to last.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Through the
Appreciate it,
shrinkage.
guys.
Dude,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Yeah,
down
thank
here,
you.
man.
shrinkage,
Like,
bro?
Well, you know,
Bro,
'cause your
hey,
sweat-
bro.
'cause your sweatshirt.
Watch that word.
Your
Whoa, whoa,
sweatshirts
whoa,
are
whoa, whoa.
shrinking.
I know it's pretty cold in here, you know. I might get.
You know?
I'm just kidding. I'm messing around, guys.
can
You
you?
said shrinking.
We spoke on with EMB earlier. Can you confirm or deny this story? Because I heard this story and I wanted to, because I thought it was interesting when you're a little kid. You have these things, but you wanted to quit skating at one point and you threw your board out and Henry like
Whoa. Yes.
grabbed it.
I can't even believe. So I just told somebody the story yesterday.
Really?
So it's crazy that you're bringing this up. So I was a kid that liked to skate alone.
Oh,
I still like to skate alone to like get my legs back, or you know, if I'm trying to learn a trick, I do like to skate alone still, just because of those early years. So on this day, it was like 9:30 in the morning. It was Saturday. I went down to Embarcadero all by myself. I set up it's a train track that we put down the stairs like a handrail, and I was trying to feeble grind it. And you know how you get stuck, your wheels get stuck in there, you don't get the truck on. Flew forward, finger got stuck in between the space in between the bricks, broke my finger badly. And I remember I had nobody there, no friends. I was crying. I was only like 14. This is some great stuff. You got some
continue the
stance
story though. We
socks,
got you,
man.
Yeah, we got you.
So broken finger,
Yeah.
and I take the bus home. I'm just like bawling. My finger's mangled. It's just like sideways and bloody and just disgusting. And then I took the bus all the way home, just like freaking traumatized. And I got home and I threw my board away. And this is Tommy Guerrero's place too, right? Mind
Okay.
you. So I threw the board away. Didn't really want to throw it away. But the next morning, guess who came? Our good old trusty garbage man picked up those cans, and I went back there like a few days later to get my board. Not there. And I was like, man, this is crazy. So Henry Sanchez, he was the only one. He heard that I threw my board away. He came to my house, brought me a setup, and that got me skating again.
How did he know that you threw your board away?
I think I might have told Nick or Sam.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're like, he threw his board away. What the hell? You know?
But Henry came through, man.
He came to my rescue.
Wow.
Henry Sanchez.
I love
Really,
that.
like, that was a big angel moment, you know?
That's super
For,
dope.
yeah. Yeah, so
Especially Henry coming, like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
Like,
And Henry's a gnarly dude, okay?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
we've traveled the world together. We've lived together. So, Henry is he's no joke.
Wow.
Sorry for cussing, but.
Carl, dude, thank you so much. First of all,
What?
First of all.
We're done?
First of all,
Thank you guys.
straight up.
we got some gifts for you, dude. Hey,
Aw.
first of all, here's a Yeti. These are the clear ones. They don't weigh that much, and it's
Ooh, I
it's
like
really
that.
good.
Thank
for you got to
you.
keep hydrated out there, Carl.
You already know I drink a lot of
Okay.
water, so this is perfect.
Yes,
is it,
sir.
Is it like good BPA
It
free
is
and all
100
that?
it's Yeti, so
Yeti.
they only get they're only the best.
Yeah, Yeti.
And then
They do right by us.
Also, you got to keep your feet dry and warm. Okay, so there's some 9 Club stance socks for you.
wow.
JC, we bring one of those headphones out here too, in the yellow box, please.
These are really nice. I love the colors. I love the length.
You got the length, yeah.
and stance socks are on point. They last a long time.
Also, here's the 9 Club hoodie right here. We got the thing and with the back.
Hold up.
print, bro. You know what I'm
What-
saying?
who designed this?
Go ahead. We all have a little part in it.
Who
Our
came
boy
up with
Charlie.
that?
Yellow, no,
Who came up with
the
that?
yellow
That's
headphone.
fire. That's you,
Yellow
Kelly, right?
headphone.
No, that was like, I mean, who was
It's collective. I
That's
think.
a
I
Right.
love
collective.
it. 'Cause then- oh.
Whoa.
Sorry, microphone.
1 2 1 2.
And then you got that on the back.
Yeah, we got
That's
the back print. We got the
banging.
back print.
Woo, I love it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, dude.
dude.
But that's not all. Hold on. We got some headphones coming, courtesy of Skull Candy.
Awesome.
They JC, there's the yellow ones back there, yellow box with the
Thank
blue,
you.
with the black headphones.
What's up with some of that that powder you guys have?
Whoa, what are you talking about, bro? What's going on?
The green powder.
Man.
The stuff that
Oh,
you put
the
in smoothies.
AG1.
Yes. Let me get some of this powder here.
What are you talking about, huh?
So this stuff
Yeah.
looks really good. I've been meaning to buy it.
It
Oh,
is
so
really
I'll
good.
use 9 Club at discount.
Yes, I'm
You
going to do that.
yeah.
Absolutely. 'Cause,
We got
yeah.
some. We might have some packets for you to
Yeah,
take.
that'd
Oh,
be-
really? Thank
definitely
you,
got
guys.
that,
We may
for
have
sure.
some
Dude, you were really hooking it up.
Oh wait! Here's the.
Hey.
These are the next time you want to listen to some music. They got this the Crusher ANCs right here, bro. They
I
got the
love
bass and
these.
everything.
Okay.
Thump your ears. You know.
Is there a cord that connects to it too, or is it only wireless?
There's a cord also.
Hey, I'm a cord guy.
Okay.
There you
You know, I'm old school
There
with
I'm
you
a
it.
go.
core guy too,
You
bro.
know?
I don't want that. All the
Yeah.
extraness.
No, thank
Man,
you.
I take it all in, man.
Hey,
I
well-
love every
well, that's why you look so
every
happy.
wave and everything. man. Carl, thank you for everything you've done for skating.
Hey,
and
absolutely.
just
Definitely,
everything,
bro.
bro. Thank you for being you, man.
Thank you.
Straight
Thank you
up.
for having me, guys.
Thank you,
Yay,
Carl.
I made it.
Watson!
The 9 Club.